up in testing, we've got Daniel Reid on the track again in the dragster. He did come out earlier in testing and had a lot of severe tyre shake in the dragster. About 40 foot out, it started to shake rather well. Wilson jumped in the dragster and doing a crack off. So you see how it goes here. See what they learnt from that first pass, so they get through that shade zone. It is a bit of a, it wasn't too warm when I was there. Like, it's still a warm day, but it's not in that 30-degree heat that we've seen throughout the week, that mid-30-degree heat. Hey, got through it this time, 9.61 to the 64. Made a move around at half track. Daniel Reid goes 5.58, 257 mile an hour. Thanks for coming there, 257 mile an hour. Moved around a little bit half track there, 9.61 to the 60 foot. Wasn't too aggressive off the start line, but a 5.58. In these conditions, you'd be happy with that. Here we go. So, yes, in the middle of testing here, we've still got 2 more rounds of racing to go for all of our brackets today, and then we get into the finals. It is round robin racing for all of our brackets here in the Queensland Drag Racing Championship. So, obviously, all the competitors get 3 rounds of racing, and then we take the 2 competitors with 3 wins through to the final. If there's more than 2 competitors with 3 wins, well, then we have a countback. It's either who was closest to the dial and in the 3rd round, or the quickest ET, depending on the type of class it is. But we are in testing. So we've got Michael Howard on track in the altered coming forward. He will campaign in the QDRC Outlaws class once everything is sorted. So Michael Howard. I know, another call for Real Street this time, Junior Dragster at Super Street to the lanes, please. We see Michael Howard get out there with a 5.50 ratchet time in the altered. It's going to be a full lap this time around. Shoots out 7.41, 184 miles an hour. His quickest pass of the day in the altered here in testing. So just a call for Real Street, Junior Dragster and Super Street to the lanes, please. So that's Real Street, Junior Dragster and Super Street to the lanes, please. Hopefully everyone's enjoying the coverage on the Overtaking live stream today. Let us know where you're watching from. Got people watching from staging lanes, watching the live stream on the staging lanes. That's cool. Guys in the States barbecuing up, watching as well. That's awesome. So we got a bit of injected nitro now here tested. So the people that are actually on the live stream, well, this is injected nitro. This Topolino. The driver behind the wheel is Anthony Cosiris. Sorry if I've got that wrong for you, Anthony. We call him Kamikaze though, because that's what he's got on the side of the car. Kamikaze, AJ Kamikaze. I'll tell you what, I don't know how it's coming through on the sound on the live stream, but this thing sounds just tough here. Injected nitros also, that's cool. Just got that real distinct note. Made a little bit of a move towards the center line there, had to back off, got back on it, rolled through for, still rolls through for a 799, only 130 mile an hour, went 491 to half track, 149 mile an hour half track. Those increments definitely like in the 770s probably out the back door with the speed that he was running there in around the mid 180s mile an hour. So yeah, that's cool. That's a really cool car. Lots of potential. Now we've got Judy Pukas testing today for Coyote Racing. Oh, deep stage there for Judy. Gets out of the red light there, 022 red. Had run the 990s on the first 2 laps today for Judy. The deep stage will probably kill a little bit of ET. Goes through for a 10.11, 126 mile an hour. The speed was down a little bit. Once she rolled off the throttle a bit, she was down 10 mile an hour, what she did earlier today. Just another call for Real Street, Junior Dragster, and Super Street to the lanes, please. So Real Street, Junior Dragster, and Super Street to the lanes, please. Ash Dawson now in the modified dragster has run so far a best of a 781 today, gone 789, 781. You know, Ash he's done a lot of testing in this dragster, and if he watches this back, mate, I reckon you should step up, have a go on modified now. You're going all right. Looks like you're getting really good as a driver. Reaction times are pretty solid as well. The dragster is consistent. Let's see what he does here. He goes through 781 again, so very consistent for the dragster. Ash Dawson, that Nitro Garage Vision Mental Health Hub dragster, doing very well. Ash Dawson, 781, 781 so far in testing. And that brings a close, I think, to testing. I think we are. We're going to move now into round number 2 of QDRC Outlaws. And it will be Josh Fletcher, Shane Atkinson on the start line for our first pairing up here in round number 2 of QDRC Outlaws. In round number 1, Shane Atkinson had a loss in round 1. Josh Fletcher had a win in round 1. Josh Fletcher, championship leader. So Michael Vaughan and Josh Fletcher, I think they raced off against each other in round number 1. They were 1 and 2 in the championship. Fletcher getting the win. Here comes Josh Fletcher now, the Styro Max fiberglass composite panels. Outlaw dragster. It's starting to become the question, is there anyone in the bracket that can beat Josh Fletcher? The only way he's going to lose a race is if he beats himself with like a red light. But he's such a good racer, you just know every time he comes to the start line that he's going to hit his dial in and he's going to go, you know, you're going to assume he's going to be 50 or better on the tree every time he comes to the start line in this dragster. So as a competitor against Josh Fletcher, you know that, well, if he's going to be 50 or better, I need to be 30 or better because I want to get that advantage, that reaction time advantage. And you've got to be good on the dial in. Atkinson out. Well, the whole shot goes to Fletcher. He was 0.43. Atkinson was 1.74. You can't do that against Josh Fletcher because Fletcher goes around him with the 6.89 on the 6.84, safe for the win. Atkinson was closer to the dial with the 7.50 on a 7.49, but the reaction time, it all came down to the reaction time. Josh Fletcher, as I said, he was going to be 50 or better and he was 43. Atkinson 1.74 just doesn't cut the mustard here against that 0.43 light of Josh Fletcher. So Josh Fletcher goes win-win here in Outlaws so far today. So next pairing here in QDRC Outlaws, it's going to be Gary Cameron to take on Michael Vaughan. It's the tale of the tape so far today. Gary Cameron got a win in round 1. He's dialing a 6.77 seconds. Michael Vaughan had a loss in round 1. He's dialing a 7.12. So he broke out in round 1. He went a 7.13 on his 7.18 dial in round 1. So he's dropped the dial into 7.12. So that's smart. That's a good move from Michael Vaughan. But Michael Vaughan, it's like some of the other races that we've spoken about today. He needs to win. That's what it boils down to right now when we're talking the championship side of things. And with Josh Fletcher getting another win in round number 2, Michael Vaughan, who started the event second in the championship, he had a loss in round 1. He needs to get a win here in the funny car so that Josh Fletcher doesn't extend that lead by more. Gary Cameron, he was third in the championship, so he needs to get a win here as well. So it's both these drivers here, it's critical. This is a critical race when you're talking about the championship side of things. Nothing in it on the reaction time. Vaughan was better with an 050, but he's got issues as Gary Cameron in the altered streets away gets the win. 684 at 197 miles an hour. Vaughan in the funny car with issues rolls through for an 800. And Gary Cameron goes win here today to start the event off in QDRC Outlaws. Round number 3, we'll see our two drivers with the 2 wins face off against each other as well. It'll be Josh Fletcher and Gary Cameron to race. So that's going to be a cool matchup in round number 3. And that brings a close to QDRC Outlaws, round 2 of racing. So we should be moving now into Junior Drag Bike, brought to us by SVO Transport. Junior Drag Bike, round number 2. So have a look. The races, they got a win in round 1. Jaden Budcock had a win. Vance Pirano had a win. Scarlett Mansfield French had a win. And Nevaeh McDougall. They're the 4 riders that got the W's in round 1. Let's see what happens here. We got, well, 2 of those that we just spoke about have got each other here in round number 2. Nevaeh McDougall to take on Scarlett Mansfield French. So they're on the start line now. So Nevaeh is dialing at 910. She'll be in the speed flow lane. So that's the lane closest to the grandstand. If you're watching on live stream, that's her now on the screen. Take on Scarlett Mansfield French in the lane beside. So there's Scarlett there. She's dialing in at 889. So she'll do the chase here today. It's at 0.2 of a second head start. 0.21 of a second head start for Nevaeh McDougall. Oh, pop the wheel. Oh, no, it's a red light for Nevaeh McDougall. So Scarlett will get the automatic win here. She gets the freebie to test out. The Donnelly goes 879, so a breakout by a 1/10 of a second. Nevaeh goes 929 on that 910. But that's got to be one of the hardest things for these junior drag bike competitors, just this, getting these bikes off the sideline without popping a wheelie, sliding that clutch and doing it consistently each and every pass, as well as shifting gears down track. So there's a lot more variables for the junior drag bike competitors compared to their compatriots in the junior dragsters. You know, and I think that'd be one of the exciting things as a challenge. Trying to get, you know, as a rider, hitting your shift points correctly, getting it off the start line consistently each and every time. As we see Marcus McDonald now and Vance Pirano on the start line. Marcus in full stage. He's on an 860. Pirano 892. Pirano gets out with an 075 to a 185. So Pirano with just over a 10th advantage in the Beck's Hair Lounge junior drag bike, and the win light will go to Vance Pirano. He goes 894 on an 892. McDonald goes a breakout too quick 856 on the 860. So Vance Pirano goes win to start the day. Next up, Jaden Badcock to take on Sophia Loday. So Sophia's dropped the dial into 1140. She had a big breakout in round number 1. Ran her quickest lap of the day by a bunch, by a couple seconds. And Jaden Badcock is dialed in at 855. And that's one of those things, as you get better as a rider, as I spoke about those shift points, you get the shift points better, you get the gear shifts quicker, smoother, at the right point. So Sophia out with a 247 reaction time, 180 for Jaden Badcock. Here comes Jaden Badcock. It's going to be close on the finish line, and the win light will go to Jaden. Runs an 887 on that 855. Sophia goes 1219 on that 1140. So Jaden gets the win. And a final pass, it'll be a solo pass to Kai Badcock. He does a number 2 qualifier. So if it's an odd field, say in the first round, number 1 qualifier gets a bye, and second round is second qualifier, third round is third qualifier. So Kai, 10:45 Donnelly gets out with an 0.77 reaction time. You can hear those shifts down there. And he goes through for a 10.64, 63 mile an hour. So a little bit off the dial in, but that's okay. He got the win. So looking back, after 2 rounds completed in Junior Drag Bike, put to us by SVO Transport, Jaden Badcock, Vance Pirano, Scarlett Mansfield French have all got 2 wins from 2 starts going into round number 3 for Junior Drag Bike. So just another call for Junior Dragster and Super Street to the lanes, please. Junior Dragster and Super Street to the lanes, please. As we move now into round number 2 of Real Street. Up first, here in round number 2, it will be Nathan Minter to take on David Shee. So Nathan Minter in round number 1 had a loss, and so did David Shee. So one of these drivers is going to get their first win of the day here. She's got the whole shot with an 0.87 to a 1.07, so 200's advantage goes to the Mustang, dialing at 10.18. Here comes that big top-end charge from Mustang. Brake lights are on and gets the win, goes 10.20 on a 10.18 for the win. Nathan Minter goes 12.87 on his 12.80 for the loss. Next pairing out, it will be Zach Anderson in the the Rocket Lane here, Willowbank Raceway. He's dialing 11.13, and the Falcon of Brett Warren, he's dialing 11.07. Anderson has been chopping the tree today, and I'm sorry because I've just put the commentator's curse on him. My bad. Zach out with an 0.94 red, so Brett Warren gets the automatic win here. He goes 11.11 on that 11.07 dial, and then Zach Anderson goes too quick, 10.85 on that 11.13. That's picked up a bunch of ET as well for Zach Anderson. Next up, we've got the Mercedes of Carol Andrade to take on Ian Nielsen in the VZ. The Holden VZ for Ian Nielsen. He had a win in round 1, and Carol also had a win in round 1. Huge hole shot for Ian Nielsen. He was the quicker of the 2 cars. He actually left the start line first. 0.55 to a 6.57. Ian Nielsen is an experienced drag racer. He doesn't lose races from that point. 12.17 on 11.83 gets the win. And Carroll goes 12.38 on the 12.05. Tony Rogers in the Ford Ute, running for House of Raps to take on Shane Grattan in the BF. The Falcon dialing in at 13.15. Rogers is an 11.49. Grattan, championship leader. Both these drivers had wins in round 1. 0.65 for Grattan. Slight advantage to Grattan. Rogers has gone 1.19. Tell you what, it's close down the finish line there. Grattan gets it both the 13.16 on a 13.15. Rogers goes 12.57 on his 12.49. Oh, how about this? It's mother and son on the start line. Cameron Goldie and Stacey Goldie. Mum and son, 11.65 dial in for Cameron, 12.06 for Stacey. Stacey's left the dreaded cherry on the start line. And you know what? They both went red. So they both went red here, but unfortunately Stacey did it first. So she hands the automatic win to Cameron. And Cameron goes 11.64 on his 11.65. Stacey goes safe with a 12.07 on a 12.06. Dean Merchant and Dale Samuelson. Now, tell you what, all these, there's only been 2 drivers that have so far gone through with 2 wins here in the second round of racing. One of these drivers will become the third because they both had a win in round 1. Oh, it's another red light. This time Dale Samuelson leaves it on the start line, so Dean Merchant gets the easy one here. He's done 11.39, and that Nova Ford from Caboolture goes 11.53 and 11.39. And Samuelson, he'll be kicking himself. He just wasted a 12.39 on the 12.38 there with that red light on the start line. So that gives us 3 drivers going into round 3 with 2 wins. So it's Ian Nielsen had 2 wins, Dean Merchant with 2 wins, Shane Grattan with 2 wins as we go into round number 3 of Real Street later on. So just a call for Super Sedan to the lanes, please. So Junior Dragster, Super Street and Super Sedan should be in the lanes, please. So Super Sedan to the lanes. So we're just waiting for the cars to get back into the lanes. It's been a good day so far here for the Donnelly Blasting Services Queensland Drag Racing Championships. So going by the schedule, we're moving into round 2 of Junior Dragster. Some of these competitors are doing dual duties, racing in Junior Drag Bike and Junior Dragster, so they've got to get back to the pits, get out of the leathers and into a fire suit, work out what they want to dial in as well in their Junior Dragster. We can hear them fired up. Biggest field here today, obviously Junior Dragster. There was 29 entered in the bracket. And we had 28 front in first round of racing. How's this for a heads-up race straight off the bat here in round number 2? It's going to be Jacob Schultz and Kyle Day. Both are dialed in at 7.97. So we can see Kyle Day there, 7.97 dialing, getting pushed back. They do a launch and just check they're happy with everything, and then I'll adjust the idle as they go into stage. So that's obviously, you control the variables that you can control, so things like the idle, RPM and all that, so you're consistent every time you leave the start line, it's the same RPM. We see Jacob Schultz there about to move forward to the CG Racing Parts Junior Dragster. He's on 7.97, so it is heads up. It is a heads up race round 1. Let's have a look. Jacob had a win, and Kyle Day also had a win in round 1. Kyle in pre-stage. No driver moving in here. A little bit of a stage duel. I can see Jacob starting to move forward. He's in full stage. Oh, 001 to an 016. Race of the day so far here off the start line. And the win light will go to Kyle Day. 799 to a 799. It was 001 to an 016 on the start line. What a race. That is a drag race. 100th across the finish line win margin. But Kyle Day gets the win. Jacob Schultz would have won any other race today in any bracket other than the one that he was just in. Incredible. Had to get a photo of that one for the commentary page for us. It's always tough when you put together a package like Jacob Schultz does, but you don't get a win. Next up now, Mia Ward to take on Nixon Canurley. So a bit of a head start here for Mia Ward. 4-second head start. Dialing 11.95, Canurley 7.74. Nice solo stage there for Mia Ward. Flickered the bottom bulb. 188 for Mia Ward on the reaction time side of things. Nixon Canurley out with a 127.600 advantage goes to Canurley. The AJD will be in control of this race and goes 7.76 on the 7.74 for the win. And Mia Ward goes 12.03 on the 11.95. So Nixon Canurley gets the win there by 1100ths of a second. Next pairing out here in Superfloor Junior Dragster, it's going to be Cody Sedmak and Lexi Lancaster. So Lexi had a win in round one. Cody Sedmak did not. So dial in. 793 for Sedmak, 810 for Lexi. Going to go to Lexi Lancaster because Sedmak's gone 67 red. Lexi with a great reaction time though. 010 on the start line, goes 800. The breakout though by a 10th of a second for Lexi Lancaster, but got the automatic win. Cody Sedmak goes 795 on the 793. So Lexi will probably have to drop that dial in a little bit down going into round number 3. Next up here in Super 4 Junior Dragster, it's going to be Chase Aarons, who's supported by Rowling Repairs, taking on Max Rowling, who's also supported by Rowling Repairs. So Max is dialing a 770 in that double A Junior Dragster. Well, Chase is only 8 years old. He's dialing a 12.15. So 4 and a bit second head start for Chase Aarons. Chase out with a 130 reaction time. Max Rowling goes 080, so 500 advantage to Max Rowling. Look at the double A JD doing the big chase, the pedal. But the win's going to go to Chase Aarons with a 12.16 on a 12.15. Rowling goes 778 on his 770. You could hear the pedaling down there, but he gave the finish line back to Chase Aarons, who gets the win. That's tough because the CJDs are a little bit harder to dial in because they do have a lot more. They have a bit more of a shift with the weather pattern, so that they can pick up a 10th where the AJDs might only pick up 1 or 200s with the weather shift. So they're a little bit tougher for the dial-in side of things. But Chase Carslake now to take on Neela Paul here on the sideline. Chase 799 dial-in, Neela Paul 772. Gets an automatic win. And think I've seen as many red lights as I have today ever before in Junior Dragster. Neil Paul gets the win here. Went through with 775, Chase with an 817. Next pairing up, Isabella Hunter taking on Ashley Pinkstone. Ashley Pinkstone had a win in round 1. Isabella Hunter also had a win in round 1. Dial in, Taylor Tape. Dial in for Isabella, 810. Pinkstone, 770. 0.4 of a second head start to Isabella. Isabella's gone in deep, so obviously that means she's shortened her rollout, so there's more of a chance for red lighting here. I'm hoping that doesn't happen. If it doesn't, it's a 150 to an 056 action. 1/10 advantage. Looks like Ashley's in front already. Plays the game, gets the win. 781 and only 74 miles an hour. Isabella was a little bit off the dial on 836 on an 810. Xavier Lai now, the old school metal fabrications junior dragster. The CJD, you see the CJD there on the side of it. Moving forward, he's dialed in at 12:29. And it's going to be the battle of the CJDs because Ryder Marsden in the lane beside him, he's also a CJD. So C junior dragster for kids aged between 8 to 10 years old, they can only run 11.90 seconds or slower. So Ryder's dialing at 12:02. Final adjustments from Dad there at the back of the car as he goes into stage. Ryder in pre-stage now. Both drivers are in pre-stage. Xavier Lai with a 128 light by Ryder Marsden with a really good reaction time, 0.66. And the win light is going to go to Ryder Marsden. He goes 12:09 on the 12:02. Xavier Lai goes too quick with a 12:12 on his 12:29 dial in and breaks out. Junior dragsters, more junior dragsters here. Tamika Castlake this time to take on Charlie Usher. Tamika's dialing at 9:30, Usher's dialing at 8:70. Tamika's going to get the win here because she can, and it's another red light on the start line. This time it's in Charlie Usher's lane, so Tamika Castlake will get her first win of the day. He goes through for a 9:55 on that 9:30. And Charlie Usher goes through for a 9:00 at 74 mile an hour. It's interesting, both those cars were a little bit off their dial-ins. Dakota Bray now to take on Tyler Bellett. This is almost a heads-up race, only 200 separating the two drivers in their dial-ins. Dakota Bray 772, Tyler Bellett 770. In the first round, Dakota Bray had a win, and Tyler Bellett had a loss. So Dakota's looking to join the other drivers that are going to round 3 with 2 wins, giving her the best opportunity she's got to try and get into that final here for Junior Dragster today. Tyler Bellett, he's looking to stop that and get his first win of the day. Dakota Bray gets the automatic win. Great light though from Dakota, 015. She runs 776 on the 772. Tyler Bellett goes 771 on his 770. Cody Robertson now to take on Carl Schultz. Carl Schultz had a win in round 1. Cody did not. So Cody, one of those CJD races, he's dialing at 1190. Carl Schultz is dialing at 767, so I think that's the quickest dial we've seen so far here in round number 2 for Junior Dragster. Cuddy's already in full stage. Cuddy Robertson out with a good 151 reaction time. So it's not as good as Carl Short's 068. Here comes the top end charge from Carl Shorts. Gets the win, goes 769 on his 767. Cody Robertson goes 12.14 on the 1190. Carl Schultz gets the win. Kenna Glasson now to take on Jasmine Kidd. Kenna Glasson dialing at a 799. Jasmine Kidd's dialing at an 812. Kenna had a win in round 1. And she's going to get a win here in round 2 with Jasmine, unfortunately. Again. Man, the Reds. It is crazy today. Kenna Glasson goes through. She goes 2 from 2. And runs her quickest pass of the day, 793, 81 miles an hour. Another breakout as well for Jasmine with an 808 on the 812. Okay, Paige King now to take on Jet Pirano. Paige had a win in round 1. Jet still looking towards the W in the win column, his first W today. So he's dialed in at 784. You see Jet there. And now we'll see Paige King moving forward in that purple junior drag. So dialed in at 8.69 seconds. Look at that sun here at Willowbank Raceway, just glaring down on the track. The crew are happy. They've told the drivers to move forward. They're out of the way now. It's all in the hands of their drivers now. Oh, deep stage from Pirano. He's got to watch the red light here. Jumped in. He's moving forward too. You can see the junior was still moving forward there. But unfortunately, it's a red light there for Pirano. He was very deep in stage. Paige King was good though. 0.44 on the tree and runs an 8.69 on an 8.69. Great lap. And Pirano runs an 8.03 on that 7.84. But obviously he would have killed a bit of ET with that huge deep stage. It's one of those things is when you're a junior dragster driver, it's that start line is so critical. Getting it right, getting your staging routine right. Next up, Nevaeh McDougall and Xavier Paul. Oswell's junior dragster taking on the Culprit junior dragster. So you can see the Culprit junior dragster. It's 879 dialing. The Oswell's the purple junior dragster of Nevaeh, or pink, I should say. Junior dragster is dialed in at 806. We've got a race. No red lights this time. 101 for Paul, 123 for McDougall. So Paul, slight hole shot and gets the win. Runs an 8.80 and an 8.79. And it's a breakout for Nevaeh McDougall. 8.04 too quick on the 8.06. So Xavier Paul goes win so far in rounds 1 and 2 for Super Floor Junior Dragster. So that should leave us with well, that actually completes Junior Dragster round number 2. We've just got a licensing pass here for Mia Grace Hopkins. Obviously stepping up. With a good 0.99 reaction time. And then goes through for a 7.96 at 82 mile an hour. So that looks like a solid licensing pass there for Mia Grace. And that officially brings a close to the junior dragsters. So we should have Super Sedan and Modified in the lanes and Top Sportsman. So Super Sedan, Modified and Top Sportsman, you should be in the lanes. Just a quick recap on junior dragsters. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 drivers going into round number 3 with 2 wins. So that's going to be huge. That round 3 is going to be huge to see who's going to be our 2 finalists. Okay. So we should be moving into Prime Science Speed Elect, round number 2 of Super Street. We had 15 drivers qualify today here for Prime Science Speed Elect Super Street. All 15 fronted in round number 1 of racing. 8 of them got wins. I'm just waiting for the junior dragsters to get off track and close the gates up and change the system back over to the quarter mile racing, and we're back underway here with more action here at the Queensland Drag Racing Championships. There we go. We're back into it. Okay. Samantha Yulton in the Commodore for BL Race Engines to take on Andrew King, the prefect for Garbett Property Group. So King is dialing 11.55, Yulton 11.49, almost heads up. 600 separating the 2 dial-ins. Neither driver got a win in round 1. Oh, the neck and neck off the start line here. Yulton with the slight advantage, 143 to a 164. Yulton's dialing 11.49 in the Commodore. But the win light's going to go to Andrew King. He goes 11.61 on the 11.55, safe for the win. Yulton was a little bit off the dial with an 11.62 on that 11.49. Next up, Tom, Ryan and Barry Ashen now. Both drivers looking to get their first W of the day. The Ute will lead first for Ryan, 11.44 dollar goes. 0.51 and 3, but Barry Ashen was better with an 0.11 in the Commodore. So Ashen with the advantage by 0.04 of a second. And gets the win, 11.18 safe on the 11.10. Tom Ryan breaks out with an 11.41 on the 11.44. Next up, Murray Flay to take on Darren Piddington now. Flay in the Commodore. Piddington in the Ford. 1.5 second head start for Murray Flay. 12.93 dial in. Gets out with a 125 light. Piddington goes 0.86, 500 to Piddington. And across the finish line, it's going to be Murray Flay. He goes closer to the dial, and Piddington was a little bit further off. He goes 12.95 on the 12.93 to get the win by 100th. And Darren Piddington goes 11.32 on the 11.25. Matt Francis down the panel van taking on the 1-tonner of John Riley. Francis, 10.83 dial in. The Ute, 11.85. advantage to Matt Francis, 092 to a 132. But the win light's going to go to John Riley, 1187 on the 1185. Francis too quick with a 1082 on the 1083, breaking out by 0.04 of a second. So John Riley picking up the win. Carl Grading now in the Fairmont for Divine Massage and Herbal Spa to take on Troy Hutton for TH Tiling and Waterproofing. No driver wants to go into stage. Hutton's in. Here comes Grading. Oh, Grading made a move in stage again. Last run. He's got the whole shot, 141 to a 280. But the win's going to go to Troy Hutton. 1081 on a 1081 for the win. Grading goes too quick, 1071 on his 1075. Here we go. Next up, just having a look here. They're not happy with something somewhere here. So I'm just wondering if it's going to be a solo pass for John Massey. He is. He's got the solo pass. He goes 024 on the tree. Massey. He's doing incredible today. Well, he's had two freebies, actually two solo passes now in rounds 1 and 2, but he would have been hard to beat both times. Runs 11.26 on his 11.24. And that's a bit sucky for David Olsen there, having to get pushed back off the start line. Leaking a little bit of oil down there. Thanks to Dave Reed, Drake Photos, just giving us the heads up, leaking a little bit of oil. It's always sucky when that happens as a racer. So we'll just get this mopped up quickly. And back underway shortly here with more racing for Prime Science, Speed Elect Super Street. Next pairing out here on track, it will be the XD of Travis Greaves, dialing in a 1080 to take on the Cortina of Barry Loday. He's dialing in 11.15. So Loday he went red in the first round, had a loss. Greaves also had a loss in round 1. Lee Green goes side this time. Loday advantage 0.47 to a 1.15. He's stolen 11.15 at 1,000 foot. He's still in front at the moment, but the win light's going to be to Travis Greaves. He goes 10.81 on the 10.80, safe for the win. And Barry Loday was a little bit off the dial, 11.26 on the 11.15. So just a call for modified top sportsman and QDRC comp bike. Modified top sportsman and QDRC comp bike to the lanes, please. So just another quick call. Modified top sportsman and QDRC comp bike to the lanes, please. We're on our last car here in second round, I should say, Speed Elect Prime Science Super Street. Sean Taskus, he'll go 2 from 2 in the solo pass here. Gets out with a 2:28 reaction time. We won't mention that. Won't talk about that. And he rolls through for an 11.14 at 120 mile an hour. And that finishes off round 2 of Speed Elect Prime Science Super Street. As we move now into round number 2 of Super Sedan. Having a look at the Super Sedan results in round 1, we had Brendan Shaw, Damien Morris, Sean Doblain, Connor Webb, Matty Barron and Mitchell Bauer all get wins in round 1. And a couple of those drivers will be racing each other here in round number 2, so that's going to make it really interesting. And one of those is first up here, Brendan Shaw in the Tirana for Downs Automotive Services to take on Hamish Strachan. Obviously, Brendan Shaw is off a huge race in round 1 where he took on Adam White. It was championship leaders racing each other in round 1. Brendan Shaw got the win and the points lead here in a Super Sedan. One of the crew guys just spotted something on the track here in front of Brendan Shaw. Obviously, just get it wiped up quickly. So tail of the tape dial-in wise, Shaw is dialing a 936. Strachan is dialing a 963 in that Commodore. So the Tirana will do the chasing here. Strachan in pre-stage. Red light on the start line. Hamish Strachan goes 19 red. Shaw's going to be tough to beat. 17 on the tree. He goes through and runs a 17 on the tree and runs 936 on a 936. 19th package for Brendan Shaw. Hamish Strachan goes 965 on the 963. Incredible run there from Brendan Shaw. That's the best pass we've seen today so far in the bracket racing side of things. A 19th package. Next up, Sean Doblain and Matty Barron. A race for the ages. Matt Barron has dialed in at 9.79 seconds. Doblain has dialed in at 10.31 seconds. Well, if I was in against either of these drivers, I'm thinking they're going to be 20 or better on the tree. That's what I'm thinking. I need to be 10 or better if I was up against one of these drivers. This is where you need to be. In theory, I'd be like, I need to be 00 if I want to have the whole shot here. Because not often these guys miss the tree. Well, they did this time. 044. Barron was 013, so he's got the advantage. Here comes the top end charge of the Beretta. And the Beretta gets there, goes 978 with a 5 on the 979. Doblain breaks that by more with a 1027 on the 1031. Win margin across the stripe. Doblain got there first by 0.0006 of a second. Double breakout. Barron gets the win. All right, Rudy White and Rob Price. White is on a 958. Price is a 955. So Price went through the first round. So he's been up north. So he's got the whole shot here over Rudy White. 020 to an 049 for Rob Price. Advantage. He's dialing a 955, but 1,000 foot. Rudy White was in front. But the Win light's going to go to Rob Price with a 9.52 on the 9.55. Safe for the win. Well, it's a breakout both sides, but there's a double breakout. Price with the lesser of the two gets a win here in round number 2 over one of the heavy hitters in Rudy White. Now, Adam White was Eagle Championship leader coming into this event. Lost in round 1. Now he's got Damien Morris here in round number 2. It doesn't get any easier for Adam White here. And Damien Morris, it's another race for the ages. Morris will lead first, gets out from 007 to a 005. So White with the advantage by 0.02 of a second. He's dialed in a 9.48. And he gets the win with a 9.49 with a 0. Morris breaks out by 0.02 of a second. That is now the best package of the day so far. 15th hour package for Adam White. What a race. What an absolute drag race there between them two. Morris with 007 White from heaven, but breaks out by 0.02 of a second. 0.02 of a second he broke out by. Adam White gets the win. 15th hour package. Incredible race. Next up, we have got on track. I'll just write down the winners and losers here. We've got Mitchell Bauer and Connor Webb. Both these drivers had a win in round 1. Bauer's dialed in at a 9.40 in that Ford. And the Commodore of Connor Webb dialed a 9.00. Red light from Connor Webb. And Bauer goes 9.40 on a 9.40 with a 20 light. Gets the win. Connor Webb goes 9.00 on a 9.00. Some of these races are starting to really nail those dial-ins as we get into the later in the day. All that data, all those laps that they've been doing. It's unfortunate we had a red light on the start line there because that would have been a good race. Next up, it's the Boss Hoses hydraulic hose repair. Toyota of Wayne Height to take on Jaden Plant, the EFI Logic pickup here of Jaden Plant, stolen 976, Height stolen 918. For Height. Jaden Plant with the slight advantage at the moment on the reaction time side of things. But the win light's going to go to Wayne Height because Jaden Plant's gone too quick. 973 on the 976. Height safe with a 925 on the 918 for the win. And that brings a close to round number 2 of Super Sedan. I'll just go through. So we've got Brendan Shaw with 2 wins. Matty Barron with 2 wins and Mitchell Bauer with 2 wins. Only 3 drivers go through to round number 3 in the box seat at the moment with 2 from 2. So going by the schedule, we should be going into round number 2 of Knife Earth Moving, Margie's Modified. Recap of round 1 for Knife Earth Modified. We had Winter, Bill Bell, Liesl Gales, John Sting and Ash Carslake. So they were the 4 drivers with the win in round number 1. And then one of those drivers on the start line now. We can see Ty Glasson going through the burnout procedure. But in the lane beside him is John Sting, who had a win in round number 1. So Glasson is dialed in at 8.51. Sting is dialed in at 7.75. And just, you know, I'm just looking at what's happened so far in the previous brackets, and it still seems to be like everyone seems to be picking up a little bit performances the more as we get through to this end of this day. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of these cars run their quickest passes here in this session, in Modified as well. Just what I've been seeing so far. Everyone seems to be picking up 1 or 2 hundreds here as we get on towards the end of the afternoon. The sun will set soon and they'll pick up a bit more ET as well. So that'll make round 3 interesting for the dial-ins and then the finals. 775 dial in for Stingy. 851 for Ty Glasson. He'll leave first in the orange dragster. So you got someone like John Sting who's been racing for 30 plus years, and then you got Ty Glasson who's been racing for a couple months. Racer John Sting, 095 to a 166 from Ty Glasson. And the win light will go to John Sting, 776 on the 775. Glasson runs his quickest pass of the day, 850 on the 851. Too quick, breaks out here at round number 2. So John Sting goes win so far here in racing and modified. This is a massive matchup in the grand scheme of things. You got two of the drivers that are in the championship hunt in Phil Bellett and Lucas Holtz. Well, Lucas has dropped his dial in down to a 930, so I think that's good for him. And Phil Bellett is dialing a 776. Ooh, I'm not sure on Phil's dialing though. Just watching, everyone has been picking up a bit of ET. But Phil is the quicker of the two cars, the experience, so he can control the race because he can see Lucas and where he's at in position on track the entire way down. So he can play the job at the other end with pedaling it. That's the advantage you've got of a quicker car. It's a bit tougher for Lucas to do that sort of thing, looking over the shoulder and trying to estimate where he should back off if he needs to. Lucas out with the 007 light from heaven. 042 for Phil Bellett. He's got a bit of work to do if he wants to get around Lucas Holtz here. Here he comes across the finish line. Win light will go to Lucas Holtz. A 930 on a 930 with a 007 reaction time. Phil Bellett, he did what I thought it might happen there. A 773 breakout on that 776. Lucas got there first anyway by 0.005 of a second. That's a great run there from Lucas. That's the best package of the day now. A 14,000 package for Lucas Holtz. 007 on the tree and 7,000 over the dial in to get the win there in round 2 for Knife Earth Moving Modified Eliminator. Okay, it's exciting times. That makes it really interesting now. Okay, we're just checking something down the bottom end. All good. We're giving the thumbs up to our drivers here to move forward. Ash Castlake had a win in round 1. He's still an 803. He's another one of these drivers probably going to have to just watch that dial in there at the other end. Andrew Pinkstone, he's stolen 756, so he's dropped his dial in there slightly. Off the dial, Pinkstone's probably the safer of the two. Castlake's a bit more aggressive. Pinkstone's got the 010 advantage though. He went 010 to an 042 on the reaction time side of things. And the win light will go to Pinkstone, a 760 on the 756. Castlake altered, went away a little bit at the top end, 811 on the 803. Yeah, the ET was down a little bit half track as well, only a 510 at half track, so that's something might have been off there if Castlake's altered, but Pinkstone 760 safe on the 756 for the win. So I'm not too sure what's going on. We might have just given the shutdown signal, checking something out. On track, maybe. Well, just give me a chance to just give another call for Top Sportsman and QDRC Comp Bike to the lanes, please. So Top Sportsman and QDRC Comp Bike to the lanes. Championship leader, Liesl Gals, with a solo pass here in round number 2. So she'll join John Sting going into round 3 on 2 wins from 2 starts. So she's done an 864. There's CG Racing Parts, modified dragster backing up here from the burnout. Has been consistently running the low 860s today. For Lisa Gowes. Gets to test that 864 dialing out here. Round number 2 goes through for an 862 at 151 miles an hour. So broke out by a little bit there. I'll have to adjust the dial and going into round number 3. And then it brings a close to Knife Earth Moving Margie's modified. Well, Lisa will take on Lucas Holtz in round 3, so that's going to be a good race. Ash Castlake will take on Ty Glass, and Phil Bellett will have the solo pass, and Stingy will take on Pinkstone. It's good matchups in round 3 of Knife Earth Moving modified. Now we should be moving into round number 2 of Top Sport. So we've got the Monza there of Carl Davies on track, dialing in at 815. Taking on the quickest car here in Top Sportsman this weekend, Simon Isherwood. He's dialed in at 6.97 seconds. The Evolution Water Cutlass. So he's got a bit of a chase to do here. 1.2 second head start for Carl Davies. Both cars in full stage. Oh, Davies' car did not move there. So Simon Isherwood will get as long as he doesn't break out, he'll get the win here. He doesn't go 704, rolls off the throttle at only 172 mile an hour. Davies will roll through. That's unfortunate for Davies because he did have a win in round number 1. Next up, Tony White to take on Neil Maxwell. So Tony White there, he's dialed in at 7.90 seconds. You can see them just getting the smoke out of the car there. Maxwell's backed up now in the Pontiac. Moving forward, he's dialed in at 7.27. So he'll do the chase here. Round 1, let's see, Maxwell had a loss, White had a win. Got a red light on the start line from Maxwell. White was good on the trio 31, takes it through for a 789 on that 790. Maxwell goes 729 on his 727. All right, call for modified bike, QDRC Outlaws and Supercomp to the lanes, please. So modified bike, QDRC Outlaws and Supercomp to the lanes, please. And comp bike as well, and comp bike. So I'll do another call. Modified bike, QDRC Outlaws, QDRC comp bike, QDRC Supercomp to the lanes, please. Now we've got Kayleen Gooley on track in the LC Tirana, taking on the Ford Probe of Brett Faja. The Meltdown. So Brett has dialed in a 795. Kayleen 830, so she's dropped the dial down a little bit. Well, the good thing about this race is that one of these drivers is going to get their first win of the day. The sad thing is that one of these drivers will not have a win yet. Oh no, Gooley's just gone through the beams. So it's going to be a red light in Kayleen Gooley's lane, so the automatic win will go to Brett. in the probe. He issued both sides. It's not a clean race, really. Just wondering if Kate Williams had a bit of trouble seeing the stage lights because it sort of looked like she rolled through unexpectedly there. So Brett gets the win with an 11.22. And that brings a close to round number 2 of Top Sportsman. Going into round 3 of Top Sportsman, we've got Tony White with 2 wins, Simon Ishod with 2 wins. So it's a real open bracket, Top Sportsman, no matter what happens in round number 3. So first up here in QDRC Comp Bike, it will be Bo Strike and Chris Collins. So Bo Strike's already in pre-stage on that Harley. He's got the record, QDRC record of 9.76 seconds. Colin with a 7.93 on his A Comp Bike. Pole shot to Bo Strike. He's well out in front at the moment. Chris Collins going to need all that top end charge. It's not enough because Bo Striker's got there first. He runs a 9.65 to get the win. Colin goes 7.84. I think that's Colin's quickest pass of the day, but it wasn't enough here to get it done. Bo Strike through to the next round of QDRC Comp Bike. Well, he's through to the final. Where he will face either Pete Farnell or Arvine Autor, I believe. So Pete Farnell, #1 qualifier. He has approximately 2/10 advantage on Arvine at the moment on how the relative, what their ETs are relative to their QDRC records. The thing with Pete Farnell is this bike has got a lot of power. He can run into the sixes at well over 200 mile an hour. On a warmer day like this, it's all about that power management, keeping it soft so it doesn't spin off the start line. Oh, good reaction time, both sides here. Farnell goes 0.30, Arvine goes 0.46. Here comes the top end charge of Pete Farnell and gets the win with a 7.27. Rolling off the throttle, only 177 miles an hour. Arvine goes 8.89, his quickest run of the day, but wasn't enough to hold off that fast charging Pete Farnell. So it'll be Pete Farnell and Bo Strike racing off in the final for Comp Bike. Farnell's still looking for his first win of the QDRCs in Comp Bike. We have the bonus run here for our other competitors that raced in Comp Bike this weekend. So it'll be Jason Clarkin on track and Mitchell Woodford. And issues for Mitchell there off the start line. So it's going to be Clarkin here. And Clarkin goes through for a 9.30, a 156 mile an hour. Just some issues here. I'm not too sure what's going on with the start line here. So Woodford, he was, I'm not too sure what happened there because We've seen Clarkin was in stage and then there was a red light on Woodford's side of the track. I'm not too sure what's actually happened. But I'll do another call for QDRC Outlaws and Supercomp to the lanes, please. QDRC Outlaws and Supercomp to the lanes, please. And also modified bike as well if you're not there already. All right. Bit of fun here towards the end of round 2 of QDRC Comp Bike. It's been a good day. It has been a good day here for the Donnelly Blasting Services Queensland Drag Racing Championships. We're getting towards the pointy end of the day. So by my calculations, we should be moving into round number 2 of modified bike. Here we are. Next, first pairing up here in round number 2 of modified bike. It will be Mark Ashworth and Dale Marshall. Both these riders had a win in round number 1, so one of these riders will go 2 from 2 and go into that third round with a lot of confidence and hoping to potentially make a final here in a modified bike. Ashworth is already in full stage. He's dialed in at 9:07. He will lead first up on the limiter. Gets out with an 0.99 clean green, and Marshall's gone 7th out too quick on the reaction time side of things. Another red light. Just seen a lot of those today. And Mark Ashworth goes through for 910 on his 9:07. Safe for the win, and Marshall on 888. Next up here in modified bike, it'll be Jeffrey Marshall and Jason White. White came into the event second in the championship, had a loss in round 1, so you want to get that back onto the good side of things with a 10.18 dial, and Jeffrey Marshall's dialing in at 8.75. So Jeffrey didn't actually front in round 1, so he's here, back in round 2. White goes out with an 0.53, he's got a side advantage over Marshall's 0.74. At 1,000 foot, White's in front at the moment across the finish line. It's going to be Marshall though. It's a double breakout. White goes 10.15 and then 10.18 too much. Marshall was lesser of the two with an 8.73 on his 8.75 to get the win. Hasn't been a great day for Jason White. None from 2 today. But this man on track, championship leader Brian Avizia had a win in round 1. Killer on the tree. Rebecca Marston also had a win on round 1. Could she be the giant killer here? Rebecca Marston dialing in a 9.78. She will leave first. Now Vizio dialing in 8.92. Vizio's got a huge hole shot here. 0.98 to a 3.17, 2/10 advantage. He can't give that to Brian Alvizio. He gets a win at 9.05 on the 8.92. Rolled off the throttle. And Marsden goes 9.90 on the 9.78. Next up, Colin Crane. He was our #1 qualifier, but didn't get a win in round 1. He's stolen at 10.90. And Rochelle Strike on the Harley dying at 10.00. So Crane will leave first. Oh, it's a red light here for Colin Crane. So Rochelle Strike gets the automatic win. We see the runs there. Colin Crane goes through for an 11.14, 127 miles an hour. Rochelle goes 10.74 at only 99 miles an hour. And that brings a close to round 2 of modified bike. Only 2 riders will go into round 3 with 2 wins. That's Brian Alvizio and Mark Ashworth. So they're the 2 riders we're going to keep an eye on when we go into that round, 3rd round of racing. So we should have QDRC Supercomp in the lanes, QDRC Outlaws, and well, my schedule says Top Sportsman should be up after those, but I might have to find out who they're going to call up. All right, so we're just doing a quick rub on the track, and then we're back underway with more racing here at the Donnelly Blasting Services Queensland Drag Racing Championships. All right, just an announcement. Can I have Top Sportsman to the lanes, please? Top Sportsman to the lanes, please. You guys want to head around there? We're just doing a quick little bit of track prep, and we're back underway with some more racing shortly.
RV with Australia's #1 composite panel manufacturer and fiberglass sheet supplier, Styromax. From 3D CAD to CNC cutting and even 3D printing, Styromax has all the services to get your dream build on the road. Styromax is also a major supplier of RV windows, hatch and entry doors, LED lighting and finishing trims. Styromax is an 100% Australian owned and operated family business and proud sponsors of Team Fletcher Racing in Supercharged Outlaws and Brianna Barker Racing in Super Street and Willowbank Raceway. Build your own race car trailer, toy hauler or RV with Australia's #1 composite panel manufacturer and fiberglass sheet supplier, Styromax. From 3D CAD to CNC cutting and even 3D printing, Styromax has all the services to get your dream build on the road. Styromax is also a major supplier of RV windows, hatch and entry doors, LED lighting and finishing trims. Styromax is an 100% Australian owned and operated family business and proud sponsors of Team Fletcher Racing in Supercharged Outlaws and Brianna Barker Racing in Super Street and Willowbank Raceway.
All right, just another quick call for our testing vehicles and top sportsmen and modified as well, please. Modified testing and top sportsmen to the lanes, please. So modified top sportsmen and testing to the lanes, please. Okay, we're back into a QDRC Super Comp round number 2, or the semi-finals, I should say, for these guys. For Super Comp, on track, Adam Solomon. So he's scheduled to take on Steve Sloan. You can see Sloan there in the burnout pad. Solomon in the custom line's just gone through his burnout procedure. Sloan, he's got a bit of a shorter procedure. The burnout, short burnout. Into stage. So, Steve Sloan running a double D Osmod. He's got an index of 9.05 seconds. Solomon with a 685. The advantage is in Steve Sloan's lane. He was half a second under that index. So he's got almost half a second advantage over Adam Solomon at the moment. Can he convert that to a win? Well, he's off the Solomon with a 173 reaction time. Here comes the custom line. Drove through a little bit of shake. He's off of it already. And Sloan, it looks like Sloaney's backed off as well. Rolls through for a 950 at only 91 mile an hour. Adam Solomon rolls through for an 11-second pass. He had a lot of shake. It looked pretty vicious as well, from about 50 foot to about 80 foot on track, shaking there. You can see the chatter marks from up here in our vantage point in the commentary box. So Steve Sloan goes through to the final of Super Comp, where he's going to take on either Jai Schluter or Carl Herbert on track here right now. So Jai Schluter, the Cavalier for Light Vehicle Solutions. Number 40 was our #1 qualifier. He was 0.863 under the index for DMP. So he's running in the D modified production class. He's got 6/10 advantage at the moment on Carl Herbert. Herbert was 2/10 under. So what do you do when someone's got 6/10 advantage on you? You need a lot of things to go your way. So Carl Herbert, well, the first job as a driver, he needs to get the whole shot. And he needs the whole shot. It's in this situation where he hopes that, because Josh Schluter as a driver, he's going, well, I've got this huge advantage. I don't need to be killer on the tree. I don't need to risk a red light. And in that case, he might go like a high 100 light or a 200 light just to be safe, knowing he's got the advantage. But if he's too slow, he might give Herbert that shot that can potentially get him the win. But it's not the case. Schluter's cut a great 057. Herbert was a bit slower on the tree, a 410. And Herbert almost came back around him because Schluter was off of it. He went roll through for a 915. Herbert went 824. Herbert actually went further under the index, but because of the reaction time advantage, Schluter was able to back off, just close up the race and get the win. So it'll be Jai Schluter and Steve Sloan in the final of Super Comp. So another call. Testing should be in the lanes. Top Sportsman should have been heading around there and modified as well. So this is the bonus round for our competitors that didn't make it through to the semi-finals of Supercom. So Joe Shembry is taking advantage. He's come back out here to do another lap. He's running in the AA AP class, so the AA Ultra Production class, with an index of 6.85 seconds. He's run into the 650s today. Running for Joe Blow Speed Shop. The Joe Shembry as the sunset here at Willowbank Raceway. This Holden FC Holden, 521 cubes on board, supercharged power. Goes through 656, 217 miles an hour for Joe Shembry. Getting on top of the combo there. 656, 217 miles an hour, 4.31 seconds to half track, 173 mile an hour. That's a good lap from Joe Shembry. Getting a little bit quicker each time. So we should be now moving into our third round of QDRC Outlaws. Let's have a recap so far of what's happened in QDRC Outlaws so far today. We had 5 races here enter. Only 4 have fronted for first and second round of racing. Josh Fletcher is 2 wins from 2 starts. Gary Cameron is 2 wins from 2 starts. Michael Vaughan, Shane Atkinson are still yet to register their first win of the day. And when I say that, Josh Fletcher is going to take on Gary Cameron here in round number 3. So straight away, the winner of this race between Josh Fletcher and Gary Cameron, when they come out, they will be an automatic selection into the final of QDRC Outlaws, and it'll come back to a count back. Actually, you know what? No one else can make it because Gary Cameron's got 2 wins and Josh Fletcher's got 2 wins. No other driver can even get 2 wins. So no matter what, they're going to race each other again in the final. So Josh Fletcher, Gary Cameron, it doesn't matter actually who really wins this race because by my calculations, they are going to be the finalists as well because no other driver can get enough wins to go back to get there on count back. So these guys, they're facing up against each other in round number 3, but they're going to face up against each other in the final as well, unofficially at the moment, unofficially. But that's what I can't see any other way around it because neither Michael Vaughan or Shane Atkinson have got a win. So it's down to this 2. Styromax, dragster, Josh Fletcher, he's dialing at 683. Cameron in the altered, he's dialing at 680. So Josh Fletcher leading the championship. And I said this earlier today, when you're racing Josh Fletcher off the bottom bob, you as a driver, you need to be 30 or better because he's going to be 50 or better. 99 times out of 100, Fletcher is 50 or better off the bottom bowl. So if you want to be better than Fletcher, you need to be 30 or better and then hope it's still better than what he's cut. that was your chance to get Fletcher on the whole shot because he was only 120, but Cameron was a little bit slow with a 3:09, and Fletcher gets a win 6:85 and 6:83 for the win. Gary Cameron goes 6:84. Oh, they were identical to the thousands. Both drivers going 6.855 seconds. Josh Fletcher gets the win and the points. And by my calculations, Gary Cameron will be in the final with him as well, unofficially at the moment until I get word from meeting director. But as I said, yeah, Michael Vaughan, Shane Atkinson. Neither driver can pick up 2 wins here, so they're battling it off for some points in their race. And it's going to be a solo pass for Atkinson. So no Michael Vaughan. Okay, quick call for Junior Dragster, Super Street and Super Sedan to the lanes, please. Junior Dragster, Super Street and Super Sedan to the lanes, please. So Shane Atkinson, he's just getting the win points here by the looks of it. So he probably knows that he can't make the final, so he's just going to take his win points. And get off the track. You think he would have kept it running for you and reversed it back off the track for you? You know, like that would be nice of him, wouldn't it? And if he was just going to stage, you know, he might have just rolled it through the beams. Is it not too far down? So Shane Atkinson, he gets a win and the points in the championship as well there with that just staging, accepting the green. And his crew get a little bit of a workout, getting the car off the track. It's a leg day for him. So Josh Fletcher, 3 wins. Gary Cameron with 2 wins. And Atkinson getting 1 win here in the Outlaws. So just another call, Junior Dragster, Super Street and Super Sedan to the lanes, please. Junior Dragster, Super Street and Super Sedan to the lanes, please. So we should be, well, looks like we're going to do a little bit of testing first. So we had Top Sportsman down as next up after Outlaws, but they might not be ready yet. So we've got a bit of testing coming our way. That'll be Carl Pacey, I believe, down there on the ex-Mark Hancock Pro Bike. Well, I can call it now. We'll just let Carl Pacey do his pass because it's official of the finalist in Supercharged Outlaws, or QDRC Outlaws, I should say. Carl Pacey, they're going to handle the bike, goes through from 852, 154 mile an hour. That's a good lap for the team on the bike, the rookie rider on that bike anyway. So, yeah, our finalists in QDRC Outlaws there will be Josh Fletcher and Gary Cameron, just as I suspected. So Josh Fletcher, Gary Cameron in the final of Supercharged Outlaws. Oh, the chute's come out. Oh, no, they're going to have to try and stop him so he doesn't reverse on the chute. So you need to... we can see Dave Reed from Drag Photos. He's getting some cardio in. Can he tell him to stop before he rolls over the chute? Oh, good man, Dave Reed. Good man, Dave Reed. No, stop. He meant to move again. Yeah, that's unfortunate for Michael Howard there in the altered. Good work, Dave. We've seen you put in the cardio, mate. So we'll just have to get the altered off the track and we'll be back underway with a bit more testing here for the Queensland Drag Racing Championship, brought to us by Donnelly Blasting Services. Okay. Back into it. Testing. We've got on track the little sprinter, the ex-Georgie Wegner little sprinter. Alan Bell in behind the wheel now. So he's just been going through the licensing procedure today. This might be his first full lap in it across the finish line. It goes 10.89, 123 mile an hour. Oh, he went 10.85 earlier. I missed. Oh, that must have been when I went down and grabbed some lunch earlier. So a couple 1080s there for him. Looks like we might have a little bit of pro alky action next up. The dragster of Daniel Reid. So he's done 2 laps today, one with a bit of shake, and then the second one got down with a 5.58 at 2.57 mile an hour. The conditions are a little bit more favourable now, though, than what they were earlier today. The track has just been freshly sprayed. He could probably definitely, it was very lazy in the 60 foot, only 9.61 earlier today. He can definitely pick up a little bit there. So Daniel Reid for All-Star Batteries in the Pro Hockey Dragster. I think with these sort of conditions that we've got right now, what they've got from the earlier past, you'd think you could definitely run low 550. Depending on what they're actually testing, what the goal is for today as well. Daniel Reid in the Pro Hockey Dragster for All-Star Batteries, SC Delco Newline. Moving forward, taking the advantage of testing here at Willowbank Raceway. To 60 foot, 949. This is a quicker pass. It goes 553, 259 mile an hour for Daniel Reid. 553, 259 miles an hour, 365 half track at 208. That's a good lap for the team in these conditions. So 553. Definitely got a little bit more aggressive for the start line. 940 to the 60 foot. Goes through. Good pass from Daniel Reid. Ash Dawson now testing out his modified dragster. Has run a couple 781s, but you know what? That was in the heat of the day. The track's just been sprayed. I would think he could possibly run like a 779 here if everything goes right. There you go, 7.80 with a 2. So he was close, knocking on the door of a 7.79. 7.802, 172 mile an hour for Ash Dawson. All right, just another call for Super Street, Junior Dragster and Super Sedan to the lanes, please. So Super Street, Junior Dragster and Super Sedan should be in the lanes, please. Judy Pukas, the Coyote racing car down there. Just went through the stage, man. Just trying to back up here. Sun is setting here at Willowbank Raceway. It's almost behind the grandstand now. Judy's run a couple of 990s today. Out with a 190 reaction time. And rolls off the throttle a little bit earlier this time. 10.23 at only 107 mile an hour for Judy. Now we have Tyler Shackleton down there on start line and the ex-Russell Mills fun stuff. He did an earlier lap today. It's good to see it back out here. I'm not sure what the plan is for the team in this car. Obviously he has a bit of pedigree, a bit of history. 104 to the 60 foot, rolls off of it just before half track, went 4.36 seconds to half track. Now rolls across the finish line in 7.96 seconds at only 110 mile an hour. So it was on a good solid 6-second pass out the back door going by the increments to half track. That was a nice clean pass. Fairly straight as well, so that's a good drive job from Shackleton there, getting his licence. So it'll be interesting for all of our bracket races now as the sun is setting here, because obviously the temperatures will drop. That's going to affect the performance of the cars. That means you're going to need to make some adjustments with the dial-in. So it's getting to that point of the day where it's pretty much the best conditions that we'll get for a race car. As the sun sets, the track will retain the heat that it's got from the sun throughout the day, but then we get those cooler conditions, which obviously help the engines with a little bit of horsepower. So in theory, you usually run your quickest lap of the day just as the sun is setting, and the track's still got that heat in it. So it'd be good to see interested to see what these drivers do with their dial-ins and how they adjust them. Take into account, we did give the track a bit of prep as well, a bit of a fresh spray, so that's going to help things. So it's going to be a good challenge, and I predict we've seen a lot of breakouts today, but it could happen again in round 3 for a lot of these competitors. You know, in drag racing, when you're talking thousandths of a second, everything matters. You know, everything, you've got to take into account everything that's happening around you, right down to even the brackets that run on track before your class, because that can affect the start line, whether they're doing across the start line burnouts, or if it's a class like Super Street where they're not allowed to do across the start line burnouts. You know, that affects the launch and those sort of things. As we move now into round number 3 of Top Sportsman, they're coming around. So a recap of Top Sportsman after the first 2 rounds of racing. We've got Tony White on 2 wins and Simon Isherwood on 2 wins. So they're the 2 drivers in the box seats with potential to get into a get a final spot. Obviously, to make a final here at Willowbank Raceway at Queensland Drag Racing Championships, it's the 2 drivers with 3 wins. If there's more than 2 drivers with 3 wins, then we do a count back of who's got the closest to dial in round number 3. Obviously, if we don't have 2 drivers with 3 wins, it'll go back to a count back with drivers with 2 wins and 1 loss, and then again, it's a count back on the dial-in. So it's all about round 3, you need to hit your dial-in. You need to get the win and you need to hit your dial-in. So up first, Neil Maxwell to take on Kayleen Gooley. So Maxwell's gone through his burnout procedure. Kayleen Gooley's about to move forward in the Tirana. So Maxwell's dialing in at 7.27 seconds. Gooley's dialing in at 8.30 seconds. But I don't think Kayleen did a burnout. So I'm just wondering if it's a little bit wounded, because I think she's just going into stage. I don't recall Kayleen doing a burnout. Well, neither of these drivers has got a win today. And Maxwell's gone in deep. So he's got to watch the red light here, especially when you're using a delay box, because it's set on. Usually you use a delay box, you stay shallow. Issues for Kayleen's gone through the beams. So Maxwell will get the automatic win here, and that's unfortunate for Kayleen in that Tirana. Just hasn't been in the day for him. And Maxwell goes 7.40 for the win. Well, that pairing had no bearing on potential finalists anyway. So next up, this race does have some bearing on our finalist. Brett Farger to take on Simon Isherwood. So if Brett can get a win here, that would give him 2 wins and 1 loss. And if White lost, well, then obviously he would only have 2 wins and 1 loss as well. So if Brett wants any chance of making a final, he needs to get the win here. He needs to take out Simon Isherwood. Easier said than done. Isherwood's one of the best racers here in Top Sportsman. He's dialing at 6.96 seconds. Brett has dialed in at 7.95, so it's a 1 second head start for our Meltdown team. First job for Brett. Get the whole shot on Isherwood. 0.98, he hasn't done it because Isherwood's gone 0.22. He's got 700ths advantage. Simon Isherwood dialing at 6.96, and the win light will go to Isherwood. 7.03 on the 6.96, safe for the win. And Brett Farger goes through for an 8.00 on his 7.95. He was closer to the dial-in, but unfortunately the reaction time advantage for Isherwood was too big to overcome. So Isherwood goes 3 from 3. And by my calculations, that means he will get one of those final spots, but I'll wait until I get official word from race control. So Tony White, well, it looks like he might be on a solo pass here. So he's going to go 3 from 3. And that would probably give us our 2 finalists in top sportsmen being Tony White and Simon Isherwood, because no other drivers can go 3 from 3. Should have a look at the seating sheet, see if who they were meant to race in round number 3. Isherwood, White was meant to have Carl Davies. So he gets a free shot here, goes 0.64 on the 3. Probably want to sharpen that up in the final. 788 dial-in for Tony White and goes through for an 8. Oh, a little bit off. He rolled off the throttle actually. 8.06, only 146 mile an hour. Save some wear and tear on the car, so Tony White gets the win. Now we move into Knife Earth Moving. Margie's modified. And I'll do the quick recap of the first 2 rounds of racing so far. Liesl Gowers has got 2 wins. John Sting has got 2 wins. So they're the only 2 drivers on 2 wins. So for you to have any chance of making the final, you need to have a minimum of 2 wins. And then hope those 2 drivers that I just mentioned don't get 3 wins. Ash Castlake in the Altered, dialing at 8.04. Ty Glasson is dialing 8.47, so he's dropped his dial by a couple hundredths from what he ran in round number 2. Castlake's gone 8.04, so I think he's upped his by 1 number. He's been consistent around the 8.0s, the low 8.0s. So I think, when I look at these dial-ins, I think Castlake is probably the more aggressive of the 2 dial-ins. I think Glasson's probably the safer of the 2, because he's dropped his by 3 numbers what he ran in round number 2. And when I say aggressive, that means I think they potentially could break out. Where the safer dial-in, I think they might not break out. So Glasson's got the automatic win here because Castlake has gone red on the start line. And Castlake has broken out like I thought might happen there with an 8.01 on the 8.04. Glasson has gone 8.60 on his 8.47, safe on the dial-in, and gets the win. His first win of the day. So I don't think any of those 2 can't feature in the final because they've both only got 1 win apiece. So depending on how the results go on the other pairings, by my calculations, it'll come down to Phil Bell, Liesl Gowers, John Sting, or Lucas Holtz as the potential finalists, depending on how the results go. So yes, it's official now for the top sportsman finalists. It'll be Tony White and Simon Isherwood. So we know that QDRC Outlaws was Josh Fletcher, Gary Cameron, and Simon Isherwood and Tony White in the final of Top Sportsman. We'll see you guys back in the lanes very soon. How about this for a matchup in round number 3? Liesl Gowers leading the championship. Lucas Holtz is the reigning modified champion, Knife Earth Moving modified champion. Hasn't had his best season. I said this earlier today, but it all can turn around in one race. And this is a pivotal moment in the championship side of things for, not for Liesl, but for Lucas. Liesel's out in front. She's got a bit of a championship lead, but if Lucas wants any chance to give himself some hope going into that final event, he needs to get a win here. He has to get the W. He's got a dial in of 9.28 seconds on 9.28 seconds on that altered. Liesel's dialed in at 8:61. I think they're fairly even on the dial-in side of things, just from what I remember what they've ran so far today. Liesel doesn't do too much chasing, so this is going to be a challenge for her as well. So she usually gets chased in the majority of her races. Lucas Holt is one of the slowest lights I've ever seen him cut. A 2.38 to an 0.17 from Liesel Gowes. Liesel Gowes is out in front at the moment and should convert it to a win. She does. Goes 8.61 on the 8.61 with an 0.17 light. Lucas was a little bit off the dial as well. 9.33 on the 9.28. Just one of those seasons for Lucas Holt. Liesel Gowes goes 3 from 3. So the canteen is closing at 6 p.m. So if anyone wants any food, the canteen will be closing at 6 p.m. as well. So anyone wants food, canteen closing at 6 p.m. All right, so Liesel Gowes, by my calculations, has one spot in the final. Now, if John Singh gets a win, he'll be the only other driver with 3 wins, so he would probably join Liesel in the final. If Andrew Pinkstone gets a win, well then it'll come back to a count back for other drivers. John Sting has dialed in at 7.75 seconds. You can see him there on screen in that black and orange and red drag. So Pinkstone in the other lane beside him. Pinky Store, he's dialed in at 7.56. I can't pick anything on the dial-ins for these two drivers. I think they're pretty much dead on what they should be. So this is one of those races that might come just down to the reaction time. Whoever gets the advantage on the start line. And it's going to be Andrew Pinkstone with a 006 light. He's got the automatic win. It would have been tough to beat anyway, the 006, because Sting has gone red on the start line. And both drivers go a little bit over the dial. 777 for John Sting. Pinkstone goes 760, gets the win. And now it makes it interesting. Because Pinkstone was 4 over. Sting was 2 over. And Phil Bellett. All right. This is what I see from what's in front of me. Sting was 0.27 over the dial and with 2 wins. For Phil Bellett to make the final, he's got the win. So he's already got one. He's got the win, so that's good. He needs to run a 7.74 with a 6 or better on that 7.72 dial to get the win. He can't go quicker than it. So the number we're looking for on the scoreboard from Phil Bellett here, if he wants to make the final, he needs to run a 7.74 with a 6 or better. He's dialing at 7.72. He went 7.71 in qualifying. He's been running in the mid-770s throughout the day in the heat. So he has to run it out the back door here and needs to run between a 7.72 with a 0 and a 7.74 with a 6. Goes 0.26 on the tree. The number we're looking for, he goes 7.71 and breaks out by 100th of a second. So Phil Bellett takes himself out of the equation for the finals with a breakout there, 7.710 on his 7.72. Oh, that's going to make it fun for our meeting director, I think, now for the final. So Liesel Gowes has got 3 wins, so that can't change. So she's got 1 spot in the final, but it's going to come down to a count back on those other 3 drivers with the dial-ins. I'll let everyone know once it's officially told to me. Okay, now we move in to Super Sedan, round number 3. Brendan Shaw to take on Connor Webb. Brendan's got 2 wins from 2 starts. Connor has gone 1-1. 1 win, 1 loss. Shaw will leave first in Tirana. He's dialing 9.35. Webb is dialing 9.00. Oh, great reaction time from Shaw. 0.23 gets the win because it's a red light from Connor Webb. And I think Shaw might have had a bit of a move around mid-track, actually. So he's rolled through for a 960, a little bit off the dial. And Connor Webb goes 909 on his 900. So Shaw goes 3 from 3, but he was a little bit off the dial and 0.254. Okay, next up, Rob Price and Matty Barron. Matty Barron's one of those drivers on 2 wins from 2 starts. Rob Price has gone 1 win, 1 loss. Dial-ins, 977 for Barron, 950 for Price. Whole shot goes to Rob Price, 016 to an 035. So Price has got 200s advantage at the moment in the Tirana. He's on at 950 at 1,000 foot. Here comes Matty Barron. He gets there with a 981 on his 977, gets the win. Rob Price goes 967. A little bit off the dial and after getting the whole shot. So Matty Barron was 042 over his dial in. So we've got 2 drivers with 3 wins already. So Brendan Shaw and Matt Barron have got 3 wins each. So at the moment, they would be our finalists, but there's still a chance here. Mitchell Bauer can go 3 from 3 up against Rudy Wyatt. Rudy's looking for his first win of the day. I can't remember last time Rudy went none from 3, so he's due for a win. He's on at 952. Bauer's on at 936. So the white forward of Bauer, he's the one that's looking to go 3 from 3. And if he gets 3 from 3, he can knock out Brendan Shaw, who's a little bit off the dial in his race. It's not going to happen because he's gone 7th out red for Mitchell Bauer. Rudy White gets the automatic win. And White goes 949 and Bauer goes 938. And looking at my results here, that no other drivers can go 3 from 3, so that would leave Brendan Shaw and Matty Barron potentially as our Super Sedan finalists, but we'll wait until I get word again. Next up, Damien Morris to take on Hamish Strachan. Morris will leave first in the Monaro for Morris Painting Solutions, dial at 993. Strachan's dial at 965. Oh, this is a good race. 24 to a 26 on the tree. 2,000 advantage to Strachan in the Commodore. 1,000-foot Strachan's in front, and the win light's going to go to Morris because Strachan's broken out by 1,000th of a second. Hamish Strachan goes 964 with a 9 on the 965. 1,000 too quick, and Damien Morris gets the win. 997 on the 993. That's unlucky for Strachan. 1,000 breakout. Wayne Height now for Boss Hoses to take on Sean DeBlane. So Wayne Height stolen 920, DeBlane 1026. DeBlane out 017 to an 068, so DeBlane in the box seat. And gets the win, 1032 on the 1026. Height goes 924, a little bit closer to Dolan, but only 068 on the tree. Hands the win to Sean DeBlane. Well, Adam White, he came into this event, equal championship leaders gone. 1 win, 1 loss today, taking on Jaden Plant here, who's also, oh, Plant's actually looking for his first win of the day. He's gone loss. Surprising because Jaden's been really sharp on the tree today. The car's been consistent. Sometimes it's just not your day, even when you're doing everything right. Jaden Plant goes 032. He's got almost a full 10th advantage because Adam White's gone 128. The pickup for Jaden Plant down in front gets the win, 973 on the 970. Adam White goes Too quick, 9:44 on the 9:47. And that brings a close to round 3 of Super Sedan. Now moving into round number 3 of Super Street. Sean Taskus and Darren Pennington on track. 6-hour difference between the reaction times. It's a 44 to a 50. Advantage to the Capri, the Capri of Taskus. He's dialing at 11.04 and he gets the win with an 11.08 on that 11.4. Pennington goes 11.35 on that 11.28. So the finalist in modified is John Sting and Liesl Gao. So John Sting and Liesl Gao is the finalists in modified. And Sean Taskus goes 3 from 3 and runs 400s over his dial-in. I'll just write that down. Next pairing up will be Andrew King and Tom Ryan. Tom Ryan looking for his first win of the day. Andrew King's got 1 win, 1 loss. Well, Tom Ryan out with an 0.90 to a 1.98. Tom could pick up his first win here. If he can convert that reaction time advantage, he does. 11.51, safe on the 11.39 for the win. King goes 11.68. John Riley now in the Ute, the one-tonner to take on the XC Falcon of Travis Greaves. They've gone identical today, loss and a win so far. And they're almost identical on the tree, only 0.004 of a second separate the two reaction times. So it's another one that will come down to the dial-in here. And the win light's going to go to John Riley, 11.86 on the 11.85 gets the win. Travis Greaves breaks out by 7 thousandths. Next up, Barry Ashton now and Troy Hutton. Hutton's gone win-win. Barry Ashton, loss-win. Oh, again, only 4,000 separate the two drivers on the reaction time. Advantage Hutton at 1,000 foot. Hutton's in front. At a quarter mile, it's Hutton. 10.87 on the 10.80 gets the win. Ashton was a little bit off the dial with an 11.21. So, Troy Hutton goes 3 from 3. And he was 0.78 over his dial-in. Next up, Barry Loday and Murray Flay. Murray Flay has a chance to go 3 from 3. And if he wants to make the final, he's got to be 0.78 or better over the dial-in. Goes 0.43 on the tree. Loday has gone red, so Murray Flay's got the 3 chance here to try and make the final. This is the thing, is like, do you run out the door and risk a breakout and not make it, or do you back off? And he's backed off, but it might be too much because he's gone a full 10th over the dial-in. And we've got the finalists for Super Sedan, Brendan Shaw and Matty Barron. So Brendan Shaw and Matty Barron in the final of Super Sedan. Next up, Matt Francis now to take on Carl Grading. Francis in the panel van, he's dialed in at 1081. Grading is 1070 in that Fairmont. Big hole shot for Matt Francis. He's gone 0.24 to Grading's 1.45. The panel van gets a win here in round number 3 with a 10.95 on the 1081. Grading goes 10.77 at 123 miles an hour. John Massey has a chance now to become the 4th driver with 3 wins. If he can get past Samantha Yulton, that is, in the Commodore for BL Race Engines. She's done at 11.50. Massey's 11.24. Massey has really impressed me today, actually. Just the reaction times have been all in the zeros. very low zeros, consistent in that Styromax Hornet. Could be the breakthrough event here for John Massey. Oh, another killer light from John Massey. 015 to a 181. It's going to come down to the dial-ins now. He needs to run close at 11.24, get the win light, and run close to dial-in if he wants to make the final. He gets the win, goes 11.31 on the 11.24, so he's a little bit off the dial-in, though, 0.71 off the dial-in. Samantha Yulton goes 11.51 in the lane beside him. Might be enough, it might be enough to make the final for John Massey. 700's over though. Does open the door up for your competitors. All right, so that brings us close to round number 3 of Prime Science Speed Elect Super Street, I think. I don't know if we've got any more competitors to come forward in Super Street. Just another call, Junior Bike, Real Street, Junior Dragster should be in the lanes, please. So Junior Bike, Real Street, and Junior Dragster should be in the lanes, please. So we should be moving now into Junior Dragster. And this is a huge field, so it's going to be... it wouldn't surprise me if we get 6 or 7 drivers at the end of this round with 3 wins. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers by my calculations that have already got 2 wins from 2 starts. And this is where it becomes critical. So this is where you need to know your car. You need to know how the weather changes affect the performance of your car, and what you do with those changes to adjust your dial-in. So one of the rules of drag racing and bracket racing is don't adjust the car, adjust your dial-in. You know, so what are the variables from round 2 to round 3? What has changed? Obviously, track conditions, weather conditions. So you take those variables into account with your dial-in and what you do there. And first up, it is a big race. It's a big race. Carl Schultz and Nevaeh McDougall. McDougall looking for a first win of the day. Carl was looking to go 3 from 3. So Carl's dialed in at 767. Nevaeh in the pink junior dragster for Oz Wheels is dialed in at 803. Oh, 001 from Nevaeh McDougall, 046 from Carl Schultz. I don't know if it's going to... Oh, Carl gets by with a 767 on a 767. Nevaeh goes 811 on the 803. After she goes 001 on the tree, Schultz was behind by 400ths and still somehow snuck by. And this is what I was talking about, knowing your car, knowing the conditions, what to dial in at. Great race there in Junior Dragster. So Carl Schultz goes 8 thou over. Modified bike, Real Street to the lanes, please. Modified bike, Real Street to the lanes, please. Next up, Cody Sedmak to take on Chase Aarons. Cody looking for his first win of the day. Chase has gone 1 win, 1 loss. Dial-ins for the people playing at home, watching on the live stream. Cody Sedmak's to the left of your screen. He's on at 795. Chase to the right, so he'll lead first with a 12.15 dial-in. He's gone deep in stage. Gets out with a 185 reaction time. Chase Aarons 4 seconds later. Sedmak out with a 111. Here comes Cody Sedmak, the big chase. You can hear the womp, womp, womp. It gets it 797 on that 795 for the win. Chase Aarons goes 12.20 on the 12.15. Next up, Mia Ward and Ryder Marsden. Mia Ward is dialed in a 12.00, Marsden a 12.12. So we've got two of our younger competitors here, the CJDs. Mia to the left screen, Ryder to the right. Ryder in pre-stage, waiting on Mia to move forward. Tail of the tape, Ryder's got 1 win, 1 loss. Mia's got 2 losses today, so she's looking for her first win of the day. Good light from Ryder Marsden, 0.70 to a 2.06 from Mia Ward. And the win light will go to Ryder Marsden, a 12.20 on the 12.12, gets the win, a 12.16 from Mia Ward on the 12.00 in the lane beside. Jet Pirano, Lexi Lancaster. Lexi, 2 wins from 2 starts. Jet Pirano is looking for his first win of the day. So we've only got 1 driver so far with 3 wins. That's Carl Schultz, and he went 0.08 of a second over his dial-in. So that's going to be tough to push Carl out of that potential final spot here. But Lexi Lancaster has a chance to be one of those other finalists at the moment. Nothing set in stone. Carl might not make the final. He might have a couple, especially with the way these kids hit the diamonds these days. 8,000s might not be safe over the dial. But Lexi Lancaster. So this is what she needs to do. So she needs to get the W. That gives her 3 wins from 3 starts, and then she's got to be close to the 8.05 dial-in that we see on the side of the car. Jet Pirano, though, he wants to get his first win of the day. He's not going to let Lexi have it all her way. Oh no, it's a red light from Lexi Lancaster, so the automatic win will go to Jet Pirano. And Lexi broke out as well, so it wouldn't have mattered too much there. 8.01 on the 8.05, and Jet Pirano runs a 7.91 on the 7.94. Next up, Jacob Schultz and Max Rowling. So they've had an identical day today so far. Both of them had a win in round 1, then both had a loss in round number 2. That trend will break right here. So one of them will go to 2 wins, and the other one will stay on 1. Dial in, 7.70 for Rowling, 7.99 for Jacob Schultz. Oh, how about a 0.001 Jacob Schultz, but Max Rowling goes 0.002 red. So Jacob Schultz gets it. 0.001 with a 7.99 on a 7.99 for Jacob Schultz. Best package of the day so far here in racing. That's a 5,000 package for Jacob Schultz. Gets the win. All right, and we've got the finalists for Super Street. Now Sean Taskus and John Massey in the final of Super Street. So Sean Taskus, John Massey in the final of Super Street. Next up, Jasmine Kidnow to take on Xavier Lai. Jasmine is dialing 810. Xavier Lai at 1229. .076 reaction time for Kid. 218 for Xavier Lai. And Jasmine Kidd gets the win. 813 and the 810. She'll go 2 from 3. And Xavier Lai breaks out with a 12.25 on his 12.29 dial-in. Tyler Bellett now on track. And Tamika Castlake. Tyler looking for his first win of the day. So Tyler Bell at $769 and Tamika Carslake at $930. And it looks like it's going to be a solo pass. I can't see Tamika moving forward, so it looks like Tyler might be on a solo pass. Can't see Tamika down there. Looks like she might have been. She's been pushed away, so that's unfortunate there for Tamika. So Tyler Bellett will get the freebie here. $164 light for Tyler Ballard. Gets to test out that $769 dial-in. Finishes off the day, goes 770 on the 769. Okay. Next up here, Junior Dragster, huge field brought to us by Superfloor. It is Neil Paul and Charlie Usher. Charlie Usher looking to get his first win of the day. Neil Paul's got 1 win. It's crazy, we had 9 drivers coming in this round with 2 wins, and maybe a few of them have got to race each other, because we have only got the 1 driver with 3 wins so far here. And we're midway through this round of racing. So $772 for Neil Paul, $870 for Charlie Usher. Oh no, it's the dreaded cherry. And issues for Neela Paul. She's got the win, but then issues obviously just off stalling, wanted the chain or something's come off. And Charlie Usher goes through for an 891. So we'll just have to get Neela off the racing surface here before we get back underway with our round 3 racing here in Junior Dragster. Okay, we're back into it now. Junior Dragster, round number 3. Isabella Hunter and Xavier Paul. So Xavier Paul, oh, he's on 2 wins from 2 starts, Xavier Paul. And Isabella Hunter's on 1 win, 1 loss. So we have a lot of the drivers with 2 wins and 1 loss here going, come on, Isabella, can you take him out? So it gives us a slight chance of potentially making the final. Isabella's on 820, Xavier Paul's on 878. Oh, good light from Xavier Paul, 0.21. Isabella Hunter's gone 1:54. Xavier Paul breaks out by 26 thousandths of a second. Isabella Hunter gets the win. And Xavier Paul goes too quick, 8.75 on his 8.78. Isabella Hunter. So still, we've only got the one driver with 3 wins. That's Carl Schultz. Lots of drivers, 2 wins and 1 loss now. But I've got a feeling that a lot of these drivers with 2 wins are going to be racing each other because we still haven't seen the majority of them. Kenna Glasson now to take on Paige King. Here we go. Paige King's one of those drivers with 2 wins from 2 starts. And Kenna Glasson has got 2 wins. So here we go. So one of these drivers is going to go 3 wins. And then we're going to have 2 drivers with 3 wins. Then we can start really breaking it down. So someone's story potentially continues on from this pass here. And it's going to be Paige King. She's gone 007 on 3. Glasson has gone red on the start line. So Paige King goes 8.73 on the 8.71 with a 007 light. So that's 0.24 over the Donnelly. Let's write that down, 0.24 over. So at the moment, Carl Schultz has got 3 wins. Paige King's got 3 wins. Schultz was 8 thousandths over. Paige King was 24 thousandths over her dial-in. So that's the time to beat. Dial-ins anyway for the countbacks because we're going to have more than 2 drivers on 3 wins by my calculations. Dakota Bray, she's another one of these drivers with 2 wins. Taking on Cody Robertson. Looking for his first win of the day. So these are the numbers. Dakota Bray, first job, first port of call, get a win. Second port of call, if she wants to be a potential finalist, she needs to be better than Paige King's 24 over her dial and 0.24 over. So she needs to be 7.75 with a 3 or better to potentially make the final in Junior Dragster with a win. Robinson's already in full stage. This is where the pressure cooker situation happens here in racing. Round number 3, knowing you've got to get a win, you've got to be close to your dial. And good light from Robertson, 0.57. He's done a good job here on the start line. He's got 400s advantage over Dakota Bray's 0.97. Robertson out in front. Here comes the big junior of Dakota Bray. It's not enough because Robertson's gone 12.12 on a 12.10. Gets the win. That's an upset here in round number 3. Dakota Bray goes 7.77 on the 7.73 for the loss. And still only 2 drivers now with 3 wins. Next up, Nixon Canulli. He has a chance to go 3 from 3. Ashley Pinkstone also has a chance. So no matter what happens in this race, we're going to get a driver with 3 wins, and then we've got to start looking at that count back. So same situation we just spoke about Dakota Bray. They need to be 0.23 or closer. Whoever wins this race needs to be 0.23 or closer to their dial-in to be potentially getting a spot in the final here of Junior Dragster. Pinkstone's dial-in 7.68. Canulli's dial-in 7.74. Both these cars very consistent. Both these drivers are good on the tree. Both these drivers have won big, big events. Canulli was a former champion here in Junior Dragster. He is a champion here. Pinkstone has won on the biggest stage. Oh, how about a 000 from Ashley Pinkstone to a 001 red from Nixon Canulli? And Pinkstone goes 7.72 on the 7.68. A little bit off the dial-in. But trip zip here in the 3rd round, but a little bit far off the dial-in for Ashley Pinkstone. 0.41 over. Got to get a photo of that for the page. Great race. Unfortunately for Pinkstone, she's a little bit too far off the dial-in by my calculations of getting one of those spots here in the final. But incredible trip zip to a 001 red. Kyle Day now to take on Chase Carslake. Kyle Day, 2 wins from 2 starts. Chase, 1 win, 1 loss. So Chase will want to get the win here just for the points. Kyle Day, well, he needs the win if he wants to go to the final. So Chase can't make the final, but, you know, points are at a premium at this time of the season. Kyle Day, 2 wins from 2 starts, Donnelly 797. The maths for Kyle Day, get the win and run a 799 with a 3 or better. Well, Kyle Day, he's got the win. So he's gone 3 from 3, but it's going to come down to the dollar now. 799 with a 3 or better for Kyle Day. That's what he needs. He goes 797 with a 6. Kyle Day goes 6th out over the dial, and he's now the best of the drivers in the countback for the dial-in side of things. 6th hour over. Chase Carsley goes 815 and he's 800. So now it's Carl Schultz and Kyle Day have both gone 6th hour and 8th hour over the dial-ins. All the finalists that I've announced, can you please head to the lanes, please? All the finalists that I've announced, can you please head to the lanes, please? I'll read those out again. I'll read out the finalists again. So that should be Josh Fletcher, Gary Cameron in Outlaws, Tony White, Simon Isherwood in Top Sportsman, Liesl Gales, John Sting in Modified, Brendan Shaw, Matty Barron, Super Sedan, Sean Taskas and John Massey in Super Street, and we'll let you know Junior Dragster very shortly. Now we see Mia Grace Hopkins there just going through the licensing procedure here at the end of Junior Dragster, runs an 8:01 at 82 mile an hour. So those finalists I just announced, if you want to head to the lanes, please. We've still got 3 more of our brackets to go. We've got Modified Bike, Junior Drag Bike and Real Street before we get into our finals. Okay, now we are moving into round number 3 of Modified Bike. Brian Alvizio, 2 from 2, taking on Rochelle Strike. She has gone win so far tonight. Rochelle is dialing at 10.00. Alvizio is dialing at 8.92. Alvizio 046 to a 263. And Alvizio gets a win 9.03 on the 8.92. He goes 3 from 3. And Rochelle Strike goes 10.02 on her 10.00. Next up, Mark Ashworth. There was only 2 riders going into round 3 of Mod Bike with 2 wins. So Mark Ashworth was one of those other riders. If he gets a win here, that would pretty much seal the deal that it would be Alvizio and Ashworth in the final. But Colin Crane, he wants to change that storyline. He's dialing at 10.90 on that Suzuki. 112 light for Crane to a 115 from Ashworth. 3th out between the 2 riders. Here comes Mac Ashworth across the finish line. Gets there, 9.26 on the 9.03. Gets the W. So that, by my counts, would mean it'd be Vizio and Ashworth in the final, but wait for official word. And Crane goes 11.32. Next up, Jeffrey Marshall now to take on Rebecca Marsden. Marsden has dialed in at 9.82 on her Honda. The local racer here, Rebecca, taking on Jeffrey Marshall. He's on 8.70 on the Suzuki. He's got the wheelie bars there at the back. On-site panel of paint supporting the Suzuki of Jeffrey Marshall. Advantage, Marshall. 0.69 to a 1.54. Winlight Marshall, 8.76 on the 8.70. Rebecca goes 9.86 on the 9.82. Jason White now to take on Dale Marshall. White has dialed in at 9.99 seconds. Marshall is on 8.57. Jason White gets out with an 0.54 to an 0.91 from Dale Marshall. Here comes the Suzuki. Jason White looking for his first win of the day. No, it doesn't happen here. Dale Marshall goes 8.68 on the 8.57, gets the win. And Jason White goes 10.14 on his 9.99. 100th of a second win margin across the finish line there for Dale Marshall. And that concludes round number 3 of Modified Bike. So now we move now into the final round of racing for the junior drag bike class. On track here up first will be Sophia Loday and Kai Badcock. So Kai has gone loss, win. Sophia's gone loss, loss so far. Sophia's dialed in 12.00. Kai's dialed in a 10.45. Good light from Sophia Loday, 0.19, and we'll get the automatic win here because Kai has gone 006 red on the start line. And Sophia goes through with a 12.27, 53 miles an hour. Kai goes 10.76, 62 mile an hour. Next up, it will be Nevaeh McDougall and Vance Pirano. So Nevaeh on the pink bike down there for SVO Transport. Vance Pirano running for Beck's Hair Lounge. So Nevaeh McDougall dialing in a 9.10, head start by 0.21 of a second over Vance's 8.89. So Vance has gone 2 wins from 2 starts. There's 3 riders on 2 wins. Vance Pirano's out with the whole shot, 0.67 to a 2.30. And he gets the win, goes 8.98 on the 8.89. Nevaeh McDougall goes 9.11. She was closer to the dial-in, but the reaction time by Vance Pirano was too big to overcome. So he goes 3 from 3. And he was 0.093 over his dial-in. Okay, it will come down to next pairing up Marcus McDonald and Scarlett Mansfield-French. So Scarlett's gone 2 from 2 on her bike here. She's dialing in at 7.87. And Marcus McDonald on the Yamaha in the lane beside her, he's dialed in at an 8.50. So Marcus will leave first and Scarlett will do the chase. Actually, no, the dial-in was wrong on my screen. It's now changed to an 878, so Scarlett will leave first. Scarlett with 220. Marcus McDonald goes 156. So Marcus, 600s advantage at the moment, but the win light's going to go to Scarlett because she goes 878 on an 878 to get the win and goes 3 from 3. 2,000 over the dial-in. And I've just been given the finalists for Junior Dragster, Kyle Day and Carl Schultz. So Kyle Day and Carl Schultz in the final of Junior Dragster. Scarlett Mansfield French goes 878 on an 878 to get the win. And our final rider, okay, so Jaden Badcock will go 3 from 3. He needs to be 092 or better on his dial-in to get a spot in the final. So he's dialing 855, so he needs to be 864 with a 2 or better by my calcs to get a spot here in the final. 864 with a 2 or better. All right, it's going to come down to this number on the scoreboard. 864 with a 2 or better. And he goes 899, so a little bit off the dial there for Jaden Badcock. It's going to be too much, I think. 4/10 over. There you go. And that brings a close to round number 3 of Junior Drag Bike. And it's going to be Brian Alvizio and Mark Ashworth in the final of a modified bike. So Brian Alvizio, Mark Ashworth, you're in the final of a modified bike. And this is our final class now before all of our finals. Real Street, round number 3. Quick recap here of the class before they go into stage. Drivers with 2 wins, Ian Nilsson, Dean Merchant and Shane Grattan. So they're the 3 drivers in the box seat at the moment. And one of those is on the start line here, Dean Merchant. He's dialing at 1132 in that Nova Ford, taking on the BA of Cameron Goldie. Goldie's dialing at 1162, so he'll leave first. Oh, it's too early for Cameron Goldie. He's gone early, 045 red. Dean Merchant gets the easy win here. So he's going to go 3 from 3, gets to test the dial-in out. He runs through 1132 on an 1132. 002 over the dial-in for Dean Merchant. I think you might be safe for a final spot there, Dean Merchant. Cameron Goldie goes 1155 out the back door there. Next up, next pairing, Ian Nilsson, one of those drivers on 2 wins from 2 stars, taking on Stacey Goldie. Stacey is looking for a first win today in the GTO. The VZ of Ian Nilsson is on 1180. Away they go, clean greens both sides. Ian Nilsson 054, Goldie goes 123. So Nielsen 700s advantage at the moment. Brake lights for Nielsen, gets the win, goes 1187 on the 1180 for the win. So he's 072 over the dial-in, and Stacey Goldie. Hasn't been a day for Stacey, so 1205 at 114 miles an hour for her. Next up, it will be Carol Andrade and Nathan Minter. Minter out with a 103, Carol gets out with a 458. Minter's dialing at 1285. Gets the win with a 1313. Carroll goes a 1210 in the lane beside. Next up here, we've got Zach Anderson. He's dialing a 1093. If you can see the cars there through the smoke, there's a bit of a burnout from Dale Samuelson. He is having some fun. For Fierce Motorsports, he's on at 1227. Well, we've got a bit of a tailwind. So you can see the smoke going straight down the track. Both cars in full stage. Oh, good light from Samuelson. It's a 10 on the tree to a 1.081 from Zach Anderson. What has happened there to Zach? A 1 second reaction time. Did he look away or something? I'm not too sure. And Dale Samuelson gets the win, goes 12.38 on the 12.27. Safe for the win. And Anderson goes 10.62, breaks out by a bunch as well. Okay, Shane Grattan now, he's one of those drivers with 2 wins from 2 starts in this Ford. He's still on a 13.08, so it's almost a 3-second head start from David Shee. He's still in at 10.15 in that Mustang. Oh, good light from Grattan, 0.48 to an 0.56, so it's only 8,000 separating the 2 drivers. Grattan, championship leader in Real Street. But the win's going to go to David Shee. It was a double breakout. Grattan goes 13.04 on the 13.08. Shee goes 10.12 on that 10.15 for the win. Tony Rogers in the Ute, dialing 11.41 to take on Brett Warren, dialing 10.93. Junior bike finalists, it's going to be Vance Pirano and Scarlett Mansfield French. So Vance Pirano, Scarlett Mansfield French in the finals. Brett Warren gets out with a trip 2. He's got the win because it's a red light from Tony Rogers. He goes through for an 11.10 on the 10.93. All right, so we are just down to our finalists now. We're just waiting on the last result that I can announce here, and then I'll go through all the finalists again. Just waiting on race control to go through all the results and the data from that last round of Real Street to get confirmation of our 2 finalists. I've got a feeling I know who it is because I've written all the notes down, but I need the official call from our race director. So if I have called you to the lanes, if you guys want to head to the lanes, all our finalists, we'll be getting underway very, very shortly. And the Real Street finals is Ian Nielsen and Dean Merchant. So Ian Nielsen, Dean Merchant in the final of Real Street. I'll just go through everyone in the finals again for us. So, a modified bike, Brian Vizio, Mark Ashworth. Junior bike, Vance Pirano, Scarlett, Mansfield French. Our finalists in Outlaws is Josh Fletcher, Gary Cameron. Top Sportsman, Tony White, Simon Isherwood. Modified, we've got Liesl Gowes, John Sting. Super Sedan, Brendan Shaw, Matty Barron. Super Street, Sean Tuskus, John Massey. Junior Dragster, Cole Day, Carl Schultz. What about Comp Bike and Super Comp? What are they? They're not on there. Comp Bike, they know who they are? Okay. It's funny because one of them sent me a message asking. Pete Farnell and someone. Arvine? Was it Arvine? Was it Arvine or all? Was it he? No? Pete beat him. Bow strike. So Pete Farnell, bow strike. Okay. Josh Schlitter and Steve Sloan for Super Comp. There you go. All right. Okay, so we are about to get underway. We might have. Do we have some testing cars first? Or are we just straight into finals? Just having a look in the lanes. I think we might be going straight into the finals. Oh, yep, that's right. Looking at the schedule, there's no more testing, so they're done and dusted. So we are in our finals. Okay, we are about to get underway with our finals. Just had word, it might be modified out first. We'll wait and see. Okay, we are moving now into our finals here for the Donnelly Blasting Services Queensland Drag Racing Championships. Up first, it will be Knife Earth Moving, Margie's Modified. The finalists are Liesl Gowes and John Sting. Both drivers moving forward here. You can see John Sting in his rear-engine dragster there on screen. This is where you can really tighten up the dial-ins here. You know the car. You're running fairly close back-to-back laps here from round 3 to the final. You'll have a bit of confidence as well making the final. So, Liesl Gals is dialing at 8.60 seconds. She'll lead first in the blue dragster for the SCG Racing Parts team. John Sting is dialing at 7.76. He went 7.77 from memory in round 3. So Liesl Gals, championship leader, extending the championship lead here. One hand almost on that championship trophy here in Modified Eliminator. John Sting, he's been there, he's done it. He's been racing for a long time. But it's been a while since we've seen John Sting in a final for Modified, actually. We'll have to ask him how long it's been between drinks for a Modified final. No, neither driver wanting to go into stage here. Both drivers in pre-stage. Stingy's moving forward now. Neither driver, so he stopped. He was moving forward, then he stopped. Burn down. We've got a staging duel here in the final of Knife Earth Moving Modified Eliminator. Neither driver moving forward. There we go. Liesl's in. Here comes Sting. Liesl's car's making a bit of move there in stage. Reaction time advantage. John Sting by a bunch. 0.23 to an 0.82. Here comes the dragsters, neck and neck, side by side across the finish line. John Sting goes 7.77 for the win. Liesl Gal goes 8.65 on the 8.60. John Sting winner here in Modified Eliminator, Margie's Modified Eliminator. It was consistent all day. He was sharp on the tree. Gets the win here in the final by 900ths of a second. Liesl Gals extends that championship lead though with an 8.65 on the 8.60, getting runner-up here. And a handy points lead going to the final round of the season in Modified. Moving on now, next bracket up in front of us, Super Sedan final. What a race we've got here in front of us. Matty Barron, I think it's his first race of the season in Super Sedan, taking on Brendan Shaw in the Tirana for Downs Automotive Services. Brendan's been just killer on the tree all day. This thing has been consistent, this Tirana, but Matty Barron, we know what he's done. We know what he can do. This is a race that if they race 10 times, you probably split it down the middle, 5 and 5. Two very good quality races. Brendan Shaw's in full stage. Here comes Matty Barron. Matty Barron on the throttle stop, so you'll see Brendan Shaw come around him, and then Barron will be top end charge. Pole shot advantage goes to Matty Barron, 36 to a 59. I think that's Shaw's slowest light of the day here in the final, and the win light's going to go to Matty Barron. 9.83 safe for the win on the 9.80. Brendan Shaw goes 9.38 on the 9.35. So both drivers were 0.38 over the dial-in, identical over the dial-ins, but the reaction time advantage for Matty Barron was too much to overcome for Brendan Shaw. Matty Barron's your winner here in Super Sedan. Runner-up, Brendan Shaw. Super Street final brought to us by Prime Science Speed Elect, Sean Taskus and John Massey. Taskus leading the championship. Another one of those drivers really stamping his authority on this championship right now. And a win here could really cement his chances going to that last event as well in Super Street. Dialing at 10.98. Massey's dialing in at 11.19. Massey has been incredible today. Absolutely incredible. He's been the racer so far of the pick at Super Street, and he goes trip zip to Taskus. 0.11 for John Massey here in the final of Super Street. 0.00 for Sean Taskus. 0.11 for Massey. Win light will go to Sean Taskus. 11.05 on a 10.90. Have a look at John Massey. Breaks out by 1,000th of a second after going 11 on the tree. Taskus goes 0.00 in the final and gets the win. Incredible, absolutely incredible performance there in Prime Science Speed Elect Super Street final. 0.00 to an 0.11. Massey then breaks out by 0.00. 0.01 of a second to get runner-up in Styromax Australia Hornet. But Sean Taskus is your winner here in Super Street. Now we move on to modified bike. Man, oh man, as my old side commentator used to say, Rob Oberg, man, oh man. Mark Ashworth, Bryant Alvizio now. Alvizio's on 8.92, Ashworth at 9.05. The only two riders to get 3 wins from 3 starts in modified bike. First time tonight that Brian Alvizio's left second. He's 0.60 in the tree to Ashworth, 0.54. Ashworth in front at the moment, but the win light's going to go to Brian Alvizio, 8.94 on an 8.92. You can't beat consistency. Ashworth was too far off his dial and a 9.24 on the 9.05. You can't do that against Brian Alvizio. Alvizio, your winner in modified bike. How are you doing tonight, ladies and gentlemen? That has been an incredible run of finals so far, and we've got more action here. We are in QDRC Comp Bike Elimino final now. Pete Farnell looking for his first QDRC victory in Comp Bike, taking on Bo Strike on his street bike, the Harley. Taylor tape. Farnell's got the huge advantage. He has got 2/10 on Bo Strike when you're talking performance at the other end of the racetrack. It's going to be Pete Farnell, the winner here in Comp Bike, because Bo Strike has red lit on the start line. Pete Farnell on his AA Comp Bike goes through for a 8.17. Obviously didn't want to reset that record. Bo Strike goes 9.93, 136 miles an hour. Pete Farnell gets a win here in Comp Bike, his first victory of the QDRCs. And I tell you what, that's going to tighten up the championship in Comp Bike as well, going into that last event of the season. So not too many classes left now. I'm starting to lose my voice. It's been a really good day here, cracking day so far. So we've got the QDRC Outlaws final now, about to move forward. Gary Cameron, Josh Fletcher. It's a rematch of round 3 of racing for these two competitors. In that race, Josh Fletcher got the win. Can Gary Cameron reverse the fortunes of round 3 and get the win here? Josh Fletcher is on his way to another potential championship here at Willowbank Raceway and QDRC Outlaws. You know, in this sort of racing, you're not really doing any sort of tuning changes in between rounds. It's just usual, throw some fuel in it, pack the chutes, make sure everything's A-OK, cool it down as quick as possible, and then adjust the dial if need be. That's all that these crews would be sort of looking at in between the 3rd round and this round of racing. Maybe check the valve lash, that sort of thing. But here, right now, dial in, 684 for Cameron, 683 for Fletcher. It is almost heads up, 100 difference between the two dial-ins. Josh Fletcher running for Styromax. Gary Cameron running for Garbett Property Management. Cameron's in full stage. Fletcher's in. Oh, whole shot to Gary Cameron by 500s. 0.37 to an 0.89. Gary Cameron. Gary Cameron gets the win in the final of QDRC Outlaws. 6.85 on a 6.84 gets the win. Fletcher was a little bit off the dial as well. 6.89 on the 6.83. Upset, win in the final. Cameron got the whole shot, 37 to an 89. I think Josh Fletcher might have seen that camera was in front and rolled off the throttle, hoping he might break out because he only went 192 mile an hour. But race, what a race there in the final of QDRC Outlaws. Gary Cameron is your winner. Josh Fletcher, runner-up. All right, next up here, we've got our Super Comp final. It will be Steve Sloan to take on Jai Schluter. Well, this is going to be a really good matchup. Sloaney back here, he's taking it pretty easy today. He's probably got a lot more performance up his sleeve if he needs it. In qualifying, Schluter had a 3/10 advantage over Sloan, but I don't think we've really seen the full deck of cards from Steve Sloan yet today. Jai Schluter, Steve Sloan, we've just been given the shutdown signal. Oh, one of the finish line beams has gone out, so we just got to go check that out before we send them down. Could be anything down there. Let's set it off, so they just got to check that down the finish line. But yeah, having a look at how these guys made it through to the finals. Josh Schluter was our number 1 qualifier. He was 0.863 under his index. Steve Sloan was the number 2 qualifier. He's 0.495 under his index. 1 and 2 qualifiers have made it through to the final. As I said, I don't think we've seen the full potential of Steve Sloan today at all. I think they've taken it fairly easily from A to B passes for the team. So I think he's got a little bit more up his sleeve here in the final against Jai Schluter. Does he have enough though? Does he have enough to cover that difference, that advantage that Jai Schluter's got at the moment? Because Jai Schluter's index is actually slower. So he's going to leave first, and he's the quicker of the 2 cars out the back door at the moment, because he's run 8:20 today, and Sloan has run a best of an 8:50. So we're just checking out the finish line beams at the moment. And we've got this spectacular final here for Supercomp about to move forward. We've been given the fire up signal. Here we go, Steve Sloan in the Gemini, Jai Schluter in the Cavalier. Gemini to the left screen for our live stream viewers. Cavalier to the right of Jai Schluter. Both cars in pre-stage. The Gemini moving forward. Stoney hasn't moved anywhere, so Jai Schluter is going to be your winner here in Super Comp. and runs an 8:40 at 157 miles an hour. Slaney, oh, he's off the start line now. He's going to pick up some data here. We'll see how quick he goes. Could he have made it a race? Well, he's off of it early. Still goes 8:55, 143 mile an hour. So he was 600ths behind Schluter at 1,000 foot when I looked at the ET. So yeah, Sloan would have been in the 840s as well, out the back door. Then that brings it close. Brings it close to Supercomp finals, I should say. Anyway, we've still got a couple more finals here behind us, but Top Sportsman about to move forward. Side-by-side burnouts here for Simon Isherwood and Tony Wyatt. Simon Isherwood dialing in at 6.96 seconds. Tony Wyatt's dialing at 7.90 seconds, so it's almost a full second head start for Tony Wyatt. Simon Isherwood to do the chasing now. Isherwood's been very consistent in those mid-690s today. Wyatt's the same, 790s all day. It all comes down to this last pass of the night. And we've only got one more event left of the 2025 season for the Queensland Drag Racing Championships. Isherwood in full stage. Oh, 009 mighty fine light there from Simon Isherwood. He's got the advantage to an 043 from Tony Wyatt. And the win light goes to Simon Isherwood, 700, off of it early, 184 miles an hour. Tony Wyatt goes 792 at 170 miles an hour. Isherwood is your winner in Top Sportsman by 100th of a second, runner-up, Tony Wyatt. Now into our real street finals here. Ian Nielsen and Dean Merchant. So it's a bit of a Holden versus Ford battle. The Nova Ford taking on the blue Commodore of Ian Nielsen. Ian Nielsen is dialing at 11.83. The Nova Ford there, he's dialed in at 11.32. So the Holden will leave first. Both cars in stage. Oh, it's a red light from the Holden of Ian Nielsen. Your winner will be Dean Merchant tonight in the Ford. He's out with a clean green 098. And we've seen that many red lights today. It's just been a red light-a-thon. And we see Merchant goes through from 11.47 on that 11.32. Nielsen goes 11.81. So he's done the double whammy. Red light and broke out here in the final. Only a couple more passes left to finish off this evening here at the Donnelly Blasting Services Queensland Drag Racing Championships. We've got junior dragster, junior drag bike, and potentially a test car as well, if they can get around in time. Junior dragster final now, brought to us by Superfloor. It will be Carl Schultz for SCG Racing to take on Kyle Day. So Carl Schultz there, he's dialing at 7.67 seconds. Both these drivers ran smack on their dial-ins in round number 3 of racing. Day has dropped his dial down to a 795. Schultz is stuck with the 767. the Ginger Ninja. And Kyle Day for our RLC engine reconditioning. Superfloor, Junior Dragster final. Schultz to the right, Day to the left. Oh, it's a red light from Kyle Day by 6,000ths of a second. Carl Schultz is your winner. He was 0.31 on the tree. And out the back door he goes 7.66 on his 7.67. Kyle Day goes 7.96 on the 7.95. Unfortunately, the 6th hour red light on the start line there for Kyle Day. Hands the win to Carl Schultz. And congratulations to the team there getting the win. And potentially in that championship lead as well of Junior Dragster going to the last event of the season. Junior drag bike now, the finals of Junior drag bike. We'll see Scarlett Mansfield French take on Vance Pirano. So Scarlett has dialed in at 8.78 seconds. Pirano in the lane beside her has dialed in at 8.92 seconds. So we can see Pirano there moving forward. Leave first, Scarlett to do the chasing on the pink bike. Junior drag bike finals now. Here we go. Both in pre-stage. It's the Terminator. I like the Terminator on the side of the bike of Vance Pirano's. That looks cool. Reaction times 0.12 to an 0.64. Advantage Pirano. 500s at the finish line. The win light will go to Pirano with an 8.95 on the 8.92. Scarlett goes too quick with an 8.72 on the 8.78. Vance Pirano is your winner here in Junior Drag Bike. Scarlett Mansfield French runner-up tonight. And that brings a close to the Donnelly Blasting Services Queensland Drag Racing Championships tonight. A big thank you to all the spectators that stayed out here to the end. Big thank you to all of our officials that were here today, the volunteer officials. And a big shout out to all of our racers and crew that were here today as well. Safe travels home. Trophy presentation will be in about 15 minutes in the usual spot. So if you can all get down there in 15 minutes, we'll get underway with the trophy presentation. And that's it. Thank you to everyone and safe trip home. Good night.
You and I, we never show emotions, we just keep it down inside. Yeah, you and I, both longing for expression for the things we like, but we stay quiet. Hold me now.